مساء الخير. تحياتي للجميع من سلسلة بطولات الشارع الدولية 4 نجوم. أمامي فارسين سوف أسألهما بعض الأخبار بعض التحديث على بطولة الشارع 4 نجوم. لمن وهذا ما نجده في البطولات الأولمبية، في الألعاب الأولمبية، هذا هو العلو. كيف هو إحساسك بنجاح بطولة الشارع الدولية؟
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بطولة الشارع من أنجح بطولة وجراند بري محترم ونحتاج أن نركز فيه والتوفيق للفرسان.
شتي المطاف الصعوبة؟
والله في كذا مكان فيه صعوبة. عندك التربل، الحاجز رقم 10 وعندك التربل
لونيس
واللاين الأخير.
شكرا، بالتوفيق. دهمي، المطاف هو المطاف التي تجده في الألعاب الأولمبية، وأنت شاركت 5 مرات في الألعاب الأولمبية. أين تكمن الصعوبة في هذه البطولة 4 نجوم؟
طبعا يعني اليوم آخر أيام البطولة، رابع يوم في البطولة. حيكون يعني الأداء تبع الخيل غير، لأنه آخر يوم تعب حياخذ منه شوي. وأيضا أكثر جولة فيها صعوبات اللي هي الجراند بري دائما آخر جولة، وفيها جميع الصعوبات اللي هو الحواجز المركبة أو الحواجز الفردية. اختار مسارات صعبة جدا ومسافات صعبة.
دهمي، إذا قلت لك بأن هناك حاجزين، الحاجز رقم 10 و11 متر و60 سنتيمتر.
نعم، طبعا شوط مؤهل لكأس العالم لازم يكون فيه حواجز 160. واعتقد يعني الكورس اليوم فير للخيل كلها، يعني مناسب. وصعوبات موجودة، ولكن يعني جائزة يعني مبني بشكل جميل اليوم.
دائما وفي مع هاي كواليتي.
نعم، اليوم عندي الفرس اللي هي فيفا لافيتا، تكون تجربة لها جديدة، وهي يعني الهدف كسب الخبرة، وإن شاء الله أن يكون أداءها ممتاز.
حتى اسمها جميل، فيفا لافيتا.
شكرا.
توفيق الدهمي، توفيق إن شاء الله. أستاذ عمران، مدير بطولة، ما هي توقعاتك في هذه البطولة؟ هذا ما نشاهده في البطولات العالمية وأيضا في الألعاب الأولمبية.
التوقعات إذا تقصد النتائج ولا صعب النتائج، لأن ما شاء الله الحضور، الفرسان الموجودين مستويات متقاربة، رغم وجود الأجانب مثل ما شفنا في الشوط الماضي. المصنفين العالميين قدروا الشباب ما شاء الله يعني موجود في الميدان اليوم.
بطولة شراع الدولية هي أحسن ترويج لصورة الإمارات في القفز على الحواجز.
حقيقة مسيرة الدولة بأسرها، يعني البطولات الموجودة في دولة الإمارات اليوم تتعدى الأحد عشر أو 12 بطولة دولية، الأربع مصنفات تأهيلية لكأس العالم، نهائيات كأس العالم حقيقة والأولمبية. حقيقة يعني ما نقدر، الكل جهود، الكل حريص، الكل مجتهد على نجاح هذه البطولة وغيرها من البطولات اللي كانت في أبو ظبي أو سواء في الشارقة أو في العين. الجهود حقيقة يشكر عليها الجميع. يعني
كل فرصة العالميين يقرون بأن نجاح هذه البطولة في جودة التنظيم عالمي.
حقيقة المحركات الموجودة اليوم في البطولة احترافية، من مكاتب البطولة ومن مصممين المضمار ومن الطاقم الفني الموجود بوجودكم انتم ايضا. يعني ارتئينا الى ان لابد الحرص على اصحاب الخبرات، الحرص على من له باع في هذه الامور، والحمد لله توفيق من الله سبحانه وتعالى.
كل التوفيق ان شاء الله والنجاح. اذا تمثل سلسله بطولات الشراع جزءا من دوري لونجين العربي للقفز على الحواجز، وتتضمن هذا اليوم الجائزة الكبرى لشراع لونجين، جولة من الدوري العربي التأهيلي لكأس العالم، بطولة أوروبا 2021 وأولمبياد طوكيو. عبد الله يحسب الخطوات بتاعه. عبد الله الشربتلي أحد الفرسان المتميزين. نحن الآن في بطولة شراع 4 نجوم، هذا ما تجده في الألعاب العالمية، مثلا في كامب بتريون بالولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، وأيضا في الألعاب الأولمبية. نجاح هذه البطولة.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أول شيء أحب أرحب بالسادة الحضور والسادة المنظمين والرعاة والجميع من ساهم لنجاح هذه البطولة. البطولات عندنا ما شاء الله احنا بالوطن العربي من 2004 وكل سنة في تحسن، وإن شاء الله عندنا صارت المباريات يعني من أجمل المباريات في العالم، من أرضيات، من تنظيم، من جوائز، من مشاركات. فرسان العرب مستواهم لا يقل عن فرسان الأوروبيين بل أفضل، وفي هنا من خيرة فرسان العالم، والتنظيم أكثر من رائع. يعني ما في شوز في العالم فيها تنظيم أحسن من هنا.
أين تكمن الصعوبة؟ الصعوبة أين؟
والله في كل مكان لأنه الكورس بيلدر مسوي الكبات كلها باردها، فكلها فلات كابس، يعني أي لمسة في أي مكان هتحصل على خطأ. بس الصعوبة هتكون أكثر شيء في آخر الكورس، الخيل تبدأ تتعب وتبدأ تفقد توازنها ويبدأ الكنترول يروح، فتشوف الأخطاء في آخر الكورس.
إذن بكل توفيق للفرسان العرب في هذه الجائزة 4 نجوم.
So, 3 minutes before the first start, we will now close the arena, please. We're a bit running out of time, ladies and gentlemen, so please, we are back after a short commercial.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a look on the screen for the 3D animation of the Al-Shira Longines World Cup Grand Prix. We will start the course designed by Fernando Coscabal with the first fence standing just in front of our big screen, the Arabic boxer number 1. We'll go on left hand. A tight turn to go to the
Al-Shira wall number 2, followed up by a massive white oxer with the small Liverpool number 3. We go on with the line 4 and 5, just in front of the rider stance with the oxer number 4, and then a delicate vertical set up by Longines. On a right turn, we go on with the white vertical number 6 to follow on with the Al-Shira triple combination oxer, vertical, oxer. Out of the turn, we go on left hand this time with the Al-Forsan triple bar. That will be the number 8 of this course, set up with the following oxer of the Abu Dhabi Sports Council. Slightly broken line to the right hand, we go over to the vertical number 10, the tropical vertical with Liverpool and the white delicate planks. So we go on left hand this time, a roll back on the fence number 11, going up to the combination 12A, 12B of Longines, and finishing on fence number 13. All this with a length of 450 meters and 72 seconds. So one more time, please, we ask to all the riders and persons who are not necessary to leave the arena now.
Well, good evening and welcome here to Abu Dhabi to the Al-Shira International Horse Show. We've reached the culmination of 3 weeks of jumping. It comes down to this one final class that we have been building to throughout. I'm Gareth Jenkins, delighted to welcome you live here to the FEI World Cup Jumping Arab League, the Al-Shira Longines Grand Prix. And this brings together the very best for a total prize fund of just shy of 95,000 euros. Bernardo Costa Cabral has set this course. It's a 2-round competition. We'll worry about round 2 a little later. Round 1 is over these 13 obstacles, 16 efforts, and 72-second time allowed. To get things underway, it's the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and it's going to be Khalid Al-Baram Al-Mokbi with Sosero, the 12-year-old gelding, that comes forward first. And, well, there's been some strong rounds from this man over the course of the last few weeks. He was fourth in the Grand Prix last weekend. Delighted to also have with me here in the box Trevor Breen for Ireland, 2-time winner of the Al-Shira Hickstead Derby. We're set for a cracking night, Trevor.
Yeah, hi Gareth. Thank you very much for having me. Delighted to be here. Yeah, this is all set up for a really good finale to the 4-star week in Al-Shira. It's been the end of a 3-week tour here, so I'm really looking forward to the culmination of this now. A really good track set by Bernardo Costa Cabral, so let's see how the guys get on.
So have a little look round this track. Can you sort of take us round this first one?
Yeah, so I walked the course. This is a 4-stride distance to this oxer, quite a big oxer for fence 3. Round the corner to, again, a good oxer to a short 5 strides to a plank, very delicate plank. And then a testing line now to a tall vertical off the corner, walks as a 7 or an 8 strides to the combination. He's gone 7, which I think most will do. And then it's going to be a stretch out, which, as you can see, he was.
He really needed to give a little bit of encouragement there.
Yeah, he rode it really well. Wide triple bar and big to it walked quite a forward 5, which he found it. 5 strides to a normal 6 to the water tray. And then your final line is a loop back to fence 11, a very tall vertical, full up 160 vertical. Walked an outside 7 to the double. And he's been a little bit deep going in, which makes the stretch out, and then a final 6 strides home to the to the last a good big wide oxer, which is the one.
Well, that brings the first to its conclusion. This is a 2-round competition. We're looking for the best 25% or all the clears, if there are more than 25% of the class clears. By my reckoning at the moment, that means 12 come back in that next round. It'll come, of course, down to faults in time as to setting the order. The first there on a total of 9, 72.04. Do we think the time allowed is going to play a big part tonight?
What was the time allowed?
72 seconds, so it was literally just over, but he was moving.
He was definitely moving. The only place where he went a bit wide was on the final, before the final line to fence 11. He went very wide there. I think he already had 2 fences down, I think, so he went wide to set himself up for that line. So I think riders will be a lot sharper back to fence 11. So if he was just outside, I think it will be a factor, but I think I think probably by the looks of it, Bernardo's got it right with 72.
He seems to be getting it right all the time, that man. He's a little magician, but this man was certainly in form last weekend. He got everything right. He won the 3-star Grand Prix here in week 2. It is for Latvia, Kustatnerenix and Moonray. He's a formidable competitor, and this will be fascinating to see how the horse comes out now, 1 week on from that big win last weekend. He certainly showed us his stuff a week ago.
Yeah, this is a fantastic horse that he has. He's had it a long time. A real winner in his string, as he showed last week, and he's had a really good start to this round as well, so looks like he's on form. At 15 years old, he's got a lot of experience. He was here on this trip last year on this UAE tour also. So
he had a big win in Dubai last year, if I remember rightly, as well in the 5-star.
He did, yeah. He's a really competitive guy. It was my first time meeting him on this trip last year, and yeah, he's always in the ribbons and very fast and very competitive.
Just see how he goes over these final few fences, this roll back turn.
See, he was a lot tighter to that fence 11 than the first competitor. So let's see, I think he went 6 strides to the double, and I think that's the price he's paid there. So it's a little, it's kind of, that's the question Bernardo has asked him. For me, it is an outside 7 to that double. And Christoph went on the inside 6, which then left him a little bit too deep to and had the front pole of the second part. So it's that's going to be a testing line, I think, all night. So if you go in on 7, you risk the back pole coming out, and if you go in on 6, you risk the front pole going out.
I always describe Bernardo's tracks, they're like taking an exam. Because if you can manage to get an A start, then you've got a clear round. But somewhere along the line, if you make just a little error, and it could be anywhere, it does sort of catch you out.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the talent that these top course builders have. You know, it's a very difficult skill, and it takes a lot of feeling and it takes a lot of experience to get it right. And Bernardo, more often than not, does get it right.
Mohamed Talat joining us next for Egypt, the first of the Egyptian riders with Casanova Royal. He's had a tremendous run over these past 2 weeks. He's taken a win earlier today in 4-star competition on his other ride. He was a double winner last week, full of confidence. But this is a step up as well.
Yeah, this will be a step up. But I think I've seen the horse again last year as well. Plenty scope, plenty ability, so looking forward to see how they handle this tonight.
In Egypt as a nation, obviously we know they've just qualified for Tokyo, but they have such a strong base of riders. There's an awful lot of talent.
Yeah, Egypt are a really rising country. They've, like you said, loads of talent. They've the likes of Abdel Saeed, who's here, who we'll see shortly in this Grand Prix. But they've also now Samuel Dehan, who won that fantastic Grand Prix in Calgary, I think it was last year. And they've Karim El Zogby, who's also here in this Grand Prix. So, and there's a lot of others as well.
We saw Muzieda a little earlier taking a great win.
Won the really big class earlier. So, they're a country that really have to be reckoned with now, and I think they'll be going with a strong belief that they have a real chance in the Olympics this year.
Well, I was starting to keep my fingers crossed for this round because it was looking really strong, and then in the blink of an eye it all changes. But
that's the way Grand Prix go, Gareth.
It is. And you never know, 4 faults and a fast 4. When you're a rider, how much of a difference does this type of class make when you have, like we've seen there, in fact, he's picked up a couple of times, so he has got 6 as a final score. But if you've had a fault, had a fence, and you know that there is that small chance still a fast 4 can get through, do you pick up the pace? Do you ride it any differently?
I think it's always different. That's where the draw plays a huge part in these classes. The guys like this early to go they don't really know how the class is going to turn out. So if you try and up the pace and have another one, you risk going way down the line. But if you're obviously near the end, you know how many clears there are and you know what you have to do. So the draw is a real factor in your decision making in that time.
Fascinating to see how this man gets on. He's the highest ranked rider in the world with us here in Al Shira, the launching ranked world number 11. He's of course been at the top of the rankings in the past. He's part of the team that took a silver medal at the European Championships back in Rotterdam last year. Christian Ullmann and Solid Gold Z, the 9-year-old. He's brought these horses to just continue their education and build them up over these coming weeks, so when they go back to Europe they're ready for even bigger shows. But he's just a quality rider, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, Christian is obviously top class rider and needs no introduction. For such a tall guy, he rides so well. Watching him ride his horses, he doesn't ride like a tall guy at all. He's such balance and keeps the horse confident. And again, here he's doing a great job with this horse. He's only a 9-year-old, so I'm sure this is one that Christian thinks a lot of and will hope to move up to his top string in the coming months. But this is a big test for this horse today, and as you can see, Christian is nursing him around lovely.
He's had a quiet first day or two, and then he came third, I think it was, last night, and then he's popped up in the prizes again earlier, and he's really saving his powder for the big occasion. And look at that, there's the first clear, and it goes to the top rider at the show, Christian Ullmann.
You can just see the way he rode the last line is exactly how it needs to be ridden, Gareth. He rode this outside 7 perfect, rode the second part of the double perfect, and then didn't panic and just let the last fence come to him. And that was a masterclass of riding there, and the rest of the riders will have watched that, and basically that's a free lesson.
I was going to say, so if you were in the back half of the draw, you'd be at this moment, you'd be watching the first 4, 5, 6, 7 go, as many as you could?
Absolutely, yeah. Any of the riders that would be 15 away from his draw, so around 19, 20, will have been watching that, especially because it was Christian Ullmann to see what he did. So, yeah, everyone has seen the template now. It's just whether they can execute.
We'll wait and see. That's a great way of putting it. Onwards to a man with a phenomenal amount of experience, from multiple Olympics to World Championships. It is New Zealand now. Bruce Goodin here with Vactorp's Danny. Is a man that's got happy memories of this showground. New Zealand's first ever Nations Cup win here at the President's Cup on this showground. It was 2 years ago. He was part of that team.
Yeah, Bruce, such a nice guy. I end up talking more about rugby to Bruce than I do about horses. He's obviously been New Zealander. He's hugely into his rugby. So we had a good chat about the World Cup when we met the other day. But he's equally as fanatical about his horses. He was telling me he's just brought this horse out here for a few weeks until the Nations Cup show. With solely the goal of the Olympics in mind, this being obviously 4 and 5 star shows, all on sand, so it's all with the Olympics in mind, to prepare and get himself on that team and hopefully get a medal.
Absolutely. In fact, he's preparing on the right floor, because it's the same team that'll go out and prepare the floor for Tokyo that are doing the floor here in Al Shira. But it is 8 as the final score. 68.07 is the final time, but 8 the score there for the man from New Zealand, Bruce Goodin, and Vactorp's Danny the 5th, the 12-year-old gelding.
That was an unlucky rub actually on the water tray. I'm sure he'll be obviously disappointed with that, but he'll realise this is his first show, and you know, the horse has to get up to speed and acclimatise and all that. So I'm sure he'll be licking his lips for the rest of the shows to come.
Well, the first of what is a strong contingent for the host nation, our hosts here, the United Arab Emirates, to join us now. It is Mohammed Al-Karmeti riding here with one for the Al Shira stables. It is Dalida van der Soeterhove, this 11-year-old mare by Thunder van der Soeterhove, joining us now. And been going very well. In fact, he sits in 4th place in one of the Arab leagues, which of course we're looking to qualify for those World Cup finals, which will take place in Las Vegas. And it's crucial alongside the Grand Prix tonight for so many of the Arab League riders to make sure they get a good chunk of points.
Yeah, they'll obviously want to qualify for that as well. So there's a lot at stake for those guys. The European guys like us, we actually can't use those World Cup points. We can't transfer them to the Western European League. So yeah, these guys have all got a kind of
like a double bobble.
Like a double, yeah, exactly. But yeah, this is a fantastic horse. I saw him last week jump super in the Grand Prix as well. And obviously one of the Al Shira horses, so this is its home. So it'd be lovely for one of the Al Shira horses to do well for Sheikha Fatima, a huge supporter of the sport, both over here in the UAE and in England now, with teaming up with Bolesworth and Hickstead.
Absolutely, she's very much supporting the whole of the equestrian world, and through all the levels, not just of course in top-end sport, but producing both young riders, as we've seen over the course of this show with the youth classes, and of course the young horses as well. But it's a total of 5 there for Mohammed Al-Karmeti, and he there just 73.25, so just over the time allowed. On to Italy, the man that's been jumping in the Western European League. It is Paolo Penini. It is Ottavio Meraviglia da Can San G, which is a nice little tongue twister to get myself around, but hopefully we got there in the end. And well, another man with a huge amount of experience, and well, he's been jumping really well since he arrived here. He of course was on the Nations Cup team in Barcelona last year as well.
Yeah, it's a really nice horse. I haven't ever seen it up close and personal until out here, but a little bit its own style of jumping, but I just love it. It's got a super attitude, ears always pricked, and it just seems like no matter what you face it at, I think it has huge trust in its rider, and I think just one of those horses that wants to please and wants to do its job, which is it's fantastic to see.
And that, as a rider, is, I suppose, the ultimate feeling, when the horse, you can actually tell the horse is trusting you and wants to do the job.
Exactly, and for me it's the difference between a good horse and a great horse, you know, because for any athlete, whether human or equine, they've got to love what they do, and typical. That's, I think, my first time commentating, and I think I've experienced the commentator's curse.
That's okay. If only you guys listen to what we got to say. You get very upset with where we say the wrong thing at the wrong time in relation to what we have no control over when you're in the arena. But that's a disappointing stop, because it's more than likely to take him out of contention now tonight.
Yeah, and it's like totally out of character with that horse. So I actually can't see a reason for it, because I think he rode it perfectly. We've jumped that water tray and fence all week, so it's just one of those things. I think maybe the horse spotted something that we can't anticipate, and unfortunately that's what we're dealing with in this sport. You're dealing with a live animal underneath you that sees and feels things that we're not always conscious of. So yeah, with all your preparation, and we do everything as best we can, but you just sometimes can't foresee those kind of things. And
that's what makes this sport so great, though, because they have their own brain. At the end of the day, you're trying to work together, from the way I see it, but you want, you know, it's his own animal, it's his own personality.
Absolutely, and these things, like I said, I was saying it's such a lovely horse with a great attitude, and it has. But you know, like everything and everyone makes mistakes, and I think we'd have to chalk that down to just the horse spotting something, a ghost somewhere or something, you know.
Well, this will be fascinating because this is the man that won it 12 months ago, Abdullah Mohamed Omari, defending champion here in this Al Shira Longines Grand Prix, riding with the Al Shira stables, James van der Oerhidhoff, the 11-year-old gelding by Douglas. And well, what a story it was 12 months ago.
Yeah, I was actually here, Gareth, and it was phenomenal. I mean, everyone was just going crazy outside. All his supporters, again, part of the Al Shira team, which is heavily present, obviously here, but anywhere. And they were really. He had all the support, and it was a hugely popular win.
And he's third in the Arab League as well, from his point of view, looking to try and just perhaps pick up points. But this won't be on his mind at the moment. Just getting round this course.
Yeah, Abdullah is such a nice guy. Really friendly. One of the first guys that would come up and make an effort, you know, with the likes of us coming over, and such a nice guy. It's such a pity he's had that fence. I don't think he deserved that. His horse is jumping a great round. He's giving him a great ride. That's a real shame.
It is 70.95 is the final time. It's just behind Kistat Nirenexis. Goes into third in terms of us looking for 12 as it stands at the moment to go forward into round 2. Of course, if he does, the faults would carry on as well. But we'll see. A lot can happen in show jumping. There'll be a lot of twists and turns this evening before we reach the end. And 4 faults, though, as unlucky as it is, does make it awfully difficult to come back from there. It's not unheard of to see things completely turn on their head in the second round, but we'll wait to see. Now to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, returning now with Kamal Abdullah Baban, riding here with Volva de la Vigne as the next to come and join us.
Yeah, Kamal is a great rider. He's been at it a long time. He's got I think an Olympic team bronze medal from the London Olympics. So he's been there, done that. As far as he doesn't do it full time, but he's right up there with the best of them. And he's some fantastic horses, and he'll have his eye on the prize tonight for sure.
I think there'll be a few from Saudi Arabia with great hopes for this evening. You got the likes here of Kamal.
Really well ridden by Kamal there. In short 5, his horse was taking over a bit, and he really made him wait and made him jump that plank super. Wait. No. Just a pity. That's the problem. Like I spoke earlier, between the going 7 strides or 8 strides to the combination, and that's the problem you're going to have. It's part B and C is going to be the issue. So you've got to know your horse and know what suits your horse best. So it's a tough decision that the riders have to make and then commit to it fully.
How difficult is it when you see it when the horse really is beginning to pull and really beginning to sort of carry you as a rider forward, and obviously you've got to try and get it back, get it listening to you. Is that really, like when you're in the middle of a distance and it's 5 strides, that must take an awfully quick reaction as a rider, and awfully difficult, it strikes me.
Yeah, it goes back to what we do day in, day out at home. We practice these things. Show jumping is obviously very complicated, but it can be broken down very simply. You need them to go forward when you want them to, and you need them to come back when you want them to come back. And generally speaking, if they can do that well, but the key being instantly when you ask them to, then it makes life in the ring so much easier. Schooling, exactly. But we do it with poles on the ground, because obviously you don't want to jump your horses every day, so we practice with poles on the ground. But like anything, there's nothing better than match practice, and you can replicate it all you like. But when you get in the ring and the atmosphere and the lights, horses, like anything else, they take over and have a mind of their own. So it's years and years of practice to get them to Grand Prix level to actually listen to you when you want them to, like that.
On we move to the next for the United Arab Emirates. One of the leading ladies here, it is Nadia Abdelaziz Taram and Cortado, the 11-year-old stallion. This pair had a brilliant year last year. They managed to find their way on to the Nations Cup team here in Abu Dhabi last February, where the team finished third, just behind your good selves from Ireland, Trevor. But Nadia and this horse, it's got a huge amount of scope and power.
Yeah, it's huge scope, and I think the commentators curse again, Gareth. Yeah, it's a lovely horse, beautiful grey horse. I think always, for me, it's always a public favourite, even when you go back to the likes of Milton. I think the crowd and everyone just loves a beautiful grey horse like this. Beautiful technique, looks lovely to ride, and she does a really good job as well, because it's a big horse for a not overly big girl to ride.
She's quite short.
So, yeah, she's quite short with not long legs, and she does a fantastic job getting them to listen to her, like we were just talking about.
Right, round she comes. It'll be interesting to see if she can get back. I think she's going to pick up a couple of time as well.
Yeah.
We'll see. Just this one final fence to go. Over the last then. So it is 8 for jumping, 2 for time. Total of 10 for Nadia here this evening in this Al Shira Longines Grand Prix. Still, as it stands, just the one that is guaranteed their place in that second round of jumping, and that is Christian Ullmann and Solid Gold Z for Germany, the only clear at the moment. There's a long way still to go tonight. A total of 47 come forward, and 10 so far have jumped. For the United States of America now, this young lady has been so impressive over these last couple of weeks. She's based with David Vinn in Germany. She won the big ranking class here 2 nights ago, €35,000 ranking competition, Primus and Annabelle Juste. And this horse, well, the other night she said it's not normally very quick, but she certainly found some speed.
She did. I was chatting to her after, and she was so happy. It was her first ever ranking class win, which is always a special moment for anyone. And she rode such a smooth round. Took one stride out to the second last, which you wouldn't even notice she had done it. She did it so well. The horse has a big stride, which would obviously help that, but she did such a great job, and she really loves this horse. She was saying that she's had this horse since he was 7 years old, and he's 11 now, and she's done everything with him, and she really loves him, has a great relationship and bond with him, and you can see that he's listening to her all the time, and I think they're going to hopefully go on to bigger and better things as the year progresses.
Really makes a huge effort. Once or twice you can really see where it's putting in an immense amount of work to try and make sure it wants to jump the fences for her.
Yeah, exactly, and like I was saying, that's the difference between a good and a great horse, and she said when it was younger, people always thought, oh, it won't be good enough, it just, it only just jumps the jumps, but it's still just jumping the jumps at this height, so it's such a great horse.
Well, she's coming down to the last, and this could well prove all we've just said, because there we have the second clear of the night. And there comes that smile once again from Annabelle Juste. She's done it, and 69.50. It is a little bit slower, but only a fraction than Christian, but at the moment that will matter not. She is clear.
She'll be absolutely thrilled with that. You can see the smile in her face straight away. So, yeah, I'm delighted for her. She puts in the work. She's up every morning, riding, and just so enthusiastic for the sport, so well done.
Confidence must count for a lot as a rider as well, and when you start jumping clears and you start winning classes, then when you come into a Grand Prix and you're already feeling a little bit on a high, that must count for an awful lot.
It's huge, and that's one thing you can't buy is confidence. You've got to get in the ring and earn it and get it, and she has it there now. She's riding it, jumps like they can't fall down, and when you're doing that, they generally don't. So it's fair play to her, and long may it continue.
To Portugal on course, and a man with tremendous experience in the sport, Luis Sabino Gonçalves, riding Aragon de Belediard, the 10-year-old stallion. A man that arrived here at the Al Shira International Horse Show with some great form. He was a winner on the very opening day of that first week. But he's a man that'll have jumped so many courses in his life.
Yeah, Luis Sabino is a great character of the sport. He's a really fun guy to be around. He's infectious kind of humour, but a real professional in the saddle. And he's come out here to do a job. He's brought out 3 kind of new horses to his string, so he's still kind of figuring them out and getting them up to speed. But no doubt he'll have done so by the end, and they all look really nice horses for the future for him. Little mistake there on the water tray, but huge jump out at the double there, fantastic. And the last, and Luis, he's always got good horses. He finds good horses all the time, and he's a serious competitor.
Well, on 4, 70.79 is the final time. It's the second quickest of those on 4. It's put him into 4 for the moment. Luis Sabino Gonçalves there, and Aragon de Billiard. So the 2 clears, Christian Ullman and Annabelle Just. Then we've got those 3 on 4, Christas Nerenix, Luis Sabino Gonçalves and Abdullah Mohamed Almari. Now it is Egypt, and a man that I affectionately referred to earlier because of his picture on the screen as Crocodile Dundee. It is Karim El Zogby with Feeling Lucky, but I mean no disrespect in that because he's a great rider.
Karim, he's a serious rider and a really nice guy. But yeah, he wears like a Crocodile Dundee hat all the time when he's not on the horse, and he's a real character, a fun guy to be around.
Well, we'll see what he could do. He's got a great name, and this 10-year-old gelding is the next to go. Another of the Egyptian riders in this class tonight. There's a whole host of nations. And it's been, like you were just saying, of course, Luis has brought brand new horses out here to try, whether you're from Europe or in this part of the world. This show works so well, not only for testing the top horses, but producing the young horses.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We've been here for 3 weeks in Al Shira, so you know the horses are used to the arena, and you can really start to develop them and maybe jump some bigger tracks with them. So it's a fantastic place. The weather is good always, and it's it's hard to say a negative here. Just on Karim, I just remembered he's been really struggling with his back. Actually, it's a real tribute to him that he's even riding. He pulled or did something to discs in his back, and last week he was riding, literally walking around sideways at a 45-degree angle.
Ouch.
And he's a little better this week, but he couldn't ride for the last 2 days of last week. But he's obviously had physio and something to correct him for this week, but he's still not right. He's really walking in pain, and so you know, to see him actually ride.
Say, testament to the round he's riding at the moment then, because he's one fence away from going clear.
He didn't deserve that.
He did not deserve that. The front rail goes off the final fence, and Karim El Zogby, that must have been like a superhuman effort if he's in a lot of pain.
He is. I meet him every day asking him, and he is in a lot of pain, and he's not putting it on because I see him every day. He is, but so that's a Trojan effort from him there.
Does adrenaline kick in a little bit when you're in the when you actually come in the arena? I know that doesn't take all the pain away, but it must help a little bit.
Yeah, definitely in the arena, but the problem is when you get on to warm up, the adrenaline isn't fully flowing then. So he'll have gone through a pain barrier outside, and he'll probably start to feel it now again as he walks out, especially after the last fencing.
I was going to say that'll be a pain that'll hold with him for the moment. That was so close. He's gone into sixth as it stands, as the slower of the fours. Now back to our host, the United Arab Emirates. This is Medhat Al-Hebzi with Charlie Braun that joins us next. This 11-year-old stallion by Katoki is the next to come and join us.
Another factor here in Al Shira, and actually it's a trend on this tour, that they always jump the big classes under lights, which we don't really do in Europe. You know, the Grand Prix would always be at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So for some of the European horses, it is a factor. But I must say, when you do it every night, they're now beginning to get used to it. But there was a couple of mistakes from horses that you wouldn't expect early on in the tour, but now I think those mistakes are being kind of petered out as the horses get used to it. So
would that be things like, for instance, I just had that, but the water trays, for instance, because they just look different under the lights,
Sure.
they reflect a bit more.
yeah, absolutely. There's a glare off them and things like that. So, like you said, to come here producing horses and getting them up and running, that is another factor that you don't necessarily get to do in Europe, unless obviously indoor shows. But you know, and then the odd time that you do have to jump under lights is daunting for a horse. So it's just another string to the horse's bow that you can add by coming out here.
There's not that many showgrounds in Europe that have the size of the lighting kit that they've got round the edge of this arena. It's a bit like a football stadium.
Exactly, it's like a football stadium. It is really well lit up, and yeah, there's no excuses with it. It's just a case that some of the horses take a little time to adjust, others not at all. But you know, some horses obviously do. But the UAE horses, they're quite used to it. You don't see too many mistakes from them in that regard.
Well, 17 is the total score for jumping in time. Alvaro Meret El Hebzi then not his night tonight in this FEI World Cup Jumping Arab League, the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix. 17 the final score. This is a 2-round competition, though. We are looking for the best 25% or all the clears to go forward into what is a completely different round. Well, as I say, we'll try and explain that when we get there, because it's a whole new course when we get to round number 2, and because it's the second round, they can carry faults forward in the event that they are in a position to go forward. Reverse order of merit. Time, trying to set yourself up for that second round, trying to put yourself last to go, I guess. That's just, you've got to want to do that.
Yeah, it's something I try not to think about. I think first things first, you got to try and jump a clear round, and then kind of the rest will look after itself. Some horses are naturally faster than others as well, so by just doing your normal round, you can be the fastest clear anyway, whereas another guy can be going as fast as he can in the first round and still be slower. So I think you've just got to do, I'm a firm believer anyway, in doing what you can do on your horse, and then what will be after that will be.
John Ledingham said to me, and therefore you know the name because we've got a nice Irish link there.
Yeah.
He always said, the first round is not a battle between competitors, it's a battle between the horse and the rider versus the course designer.
Sure, yeah.
Because
well, there's no one else to beat at
there
that
isn't
point.
until you get to the second round.
Exactly. So that's. But even in a jump off, which we'll get to later tonight, I do believe in, even if someone goes in and does an unbelievably quick round, I think.
How did he get away with that?
Yeah, that was lucky, and he's got 5 strides there.
He's only on 4, but he's trying to set a quick one now.
Well, he will be quick if he stays on 4. He'll be quick.
It's Mohamed Osama Al-Bourei here for Egypt, and Quintero, this 12-year-old gelding, is having quite a ride. Oh, so he actually got one time fall. I think the pace came out of the fact he'd had the fence down, and then he was trying to recover. But 9 is the final score there for Mohammed. So I don't know if we'll see the we are going to see the replays. I'm not sure if we'll see that jump across the middle of the arena. But
he was a long way off the brown and white oxer in the middle, fence 9. But I think that's where he hit the back pole on the triple bar before it, and I think that set up his problem, which, you know, again, that's why Bernardo, the course builder, has put fences in those positions to, you have one mistake, it can cause several others. So I think you saw the brunt of that there.
Great Britain next up. Chad Fellows riding for Vladimir Tuganov with Vincini de Beaufort. This is another rider that has really stood out over these past few weeks. He's been jumping some very good clear rounds already here at the 4-star. I think it was on the first night. He managed to put both the horses well up in the placings, and he's been really consistent.
Yeah, Chad he works for Vladimir Tuganov, who we'll see in this class as well, and he's got some fantastic horses from Vladimir. They've brought 9 horses out here in this trip, and they've got some great horses, and between the two of them, they ride. And Chad is getting a great chance. He's obviously an English guy, and he's getting a great chance with Vladimir, and he's grabbing it with both hands.
And it's important for young riders as they step out, before they step out on their own, to have that chance to go and work and get those opportunities with someone like Vladimir or any other top professional rider.
Yeah, absolutely. It's invaluable, but to get the chance to ride these kind of horses consistently as well, it's not only hard to do to get these horses, because without experience people won't give you good horses like this. So to go to a yard like that where you can ride these, you get the experience, and then you obviously try and prove yourself, and then attract owners and sponsors. And in the end, I'm sure his goal and dream is to have his own yard and his own stable.
Well, he's about to do something very special here tonight. He's over that fence and he is clear. That consistency just continues as Chad Fellows and the seeded number 4 make it 3 clears here this evening, 71-79. He's squeezed himself inside the time. He's made it clear.
Really good round from Chad. He's building up to that all the time, and he rode inch perfect all the way, and his horse gave him everything as well. So brilliant, well done.
Confidence is flowing now. Another man that's been at the top of one of the ranking classes here. He took the win on the first day last week and pipped Michael Whitaker and Jack Whitaker back into second and third with a fabulous round. It's another for Portugal, Jean McQuillis. This is Ashes and Snow. 10-year-old gelding by Diamante Savelli. And he's another that's impressed. He's jumped some really nice rounds.
Yeah, he had a fantastic win in the ranking class like you spoke of. He had a great round, really fast. This is a different horse he's on tonight. He's been having a great show, and hopefully it'll continue for him to... I actually missed what happened there, Garrett. I don't know.
It was almost like the horse just didn't want to take off. It sort of... I sometimes see that happen when, as a rider and a horse, you come round the corner and you almost look like you're going to be on the perfect stride, but suddenly the horse sort of puts down and says, no, I'm not confident to take off, and it just stops. It just happens.
Yeah, it just happens. It's quite a blind turn. So from fence 3 to 4, you come around part A of the combination, and it's a little bit blind. So maybe it just caught the horse by surprise. And it is, like I spoke earlier, it is quite a big oxer and square. So that could have been the reason.
I have a feeling he's going to stop and leave it there.
He's probably right. He hit the back pole quite hard on the fence. He stopped that after, and then he didn't look too confident at the 2 verticals after. So I think with a treble combination coming up, I think Zhao is going to save his horse for another day, rebuild, and I think it's the right decision for the horse.
So not to be for Jean McQuillis at the moment. As it looks, we've got those 3 clears: Christian Ullman, Annabelle Juice, Chad Fellows, Germany, USA, Great Britain. On 4 at the moment, we've got 4: Christat Nedeninks, Luis Sabina Goncalves, Abdullah Mohamed Al-Mari, and Karim El-Zokbi. We'll leave it as it stands with the 7, although, as I say, we'll start to look for 12, but we'll leave that because there's a lot of jumping still to come. We will take a break at the halfway point to let the team in for some ground care, and then we'll resume with the second half of the class. This now, though, is for Belgium. Thierry Goffinet, riding cadet de Reçu Z, is joining us now.
Yeah, Thierry is a real character. He's just come over with this horse for the tour, but this is actually his first show since he's been in quarantine. But Thierry is unbelievably fast rider. I bet every other rider is probably hoping he's not in the jump off, because if he is nearly impossible to beat. He's incredibly fast, so competitive, with a will to win like no other.
Well, I'm sure he's been looking forward to tonight. And as riders with the horse that you're going to use in the Grand Prix, do you plan backwards in terms of how you're going to prepare over the 4 days?
Yeah, definitely. All the top riders, your top, well, all your horses, you'll make a plan for what you want to achieve at that show. And yeah, so for the Grand Prix horses, all these horses tonight, they'll have said this is obviously the main aim. So they'll have done the classes at this show that best suit or enable their horse to be at their maximum and at their peak tonight to jump well.
Right, round he comes. And just
wonder, is he a bit slow though, Gareth?
I was going to say, he looked like he really had to slow down on the corner. 72, he's going to get a time fall. I can't see how he's going to get down. No, he's on the time fall now. So it is one, and what sort of difference that will make come at the end this evening, because that totally reinvents how you have to approach that second round if you're carrying one fall forward.
Yeah, it's a killer, and I suppose typical again. I'm telling everyone he's the fastest rider ever, and he has a time fall.
You know,
but
I don't want to call you a liar, but
I think the only thing in my defence and Thierry's defence, that horse, obviously a fantastic jumper, but he's quite slow. He's a big horse and doesn't move across the ground terribly quickly. But you know, that's the price you pay for such a big, athletic, scopy horse, that they're not generally as nimble across the ground between the jumps. And I think you saw by Thierry's reaction, he was a bit annoyed, I think, at himself that maybe he didn't turn tighter to fence 11 or something like that to make up the time. So if he makes the second round, I'm sure he'll be in a faster gear.
Onwards to a man that didn't seem to have a slow gear yet over the show so far. He took the win on the first night here at week 3, and this is the first time we've seen him, of course, week 3. Ramzi Al Dahami. He was second in the Al Shira Derby last night. Both those occasions, though, were on a different ride. Tonight with Viva La Vita, the 10-year-old mare, the man from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is certainly going to be one of the favourites as we started.
Yeah, he's in great form, Ramsey. He was second in the Derby, as you said. And he's a fantastic bunch of horses. He always does, but he's another couple of new ones again now, and they're really nice as well. This one is just 9 years old.
It's 10-year-old, so but only just 10.
Yeah, a little bit green, and I think Ramsey's going to retire.
Yeah, that's a shame. He's a former winner of the President of the UAE Cup. He won that on TED, Super TED, 2 years ago. Last year he finished third in this Grand Prix with Super TED. But it's just not his night this evening.
No, and that happens with all the planning and everything. Just, you know, horses can have an off night, and it seems to be one of those for them tonight. But they'll be back again, have no fear.
Just having a little look at the replay there. Barely touched that first pole, but then when the others start to go, you know it's time to perhaps say stop, and that's what he decided to do. So he's a true horseman. He knows his horses and he'll look after them, and he decided to leave it alone. So we move on, but we stay with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to one of the leading ladies for Saudi Arabia. Jack Whittaker there just catching up with one of our clears, Annabelle Juiced. But this is Dalma Rashidi Malis and Impero Dalskiev. She's a fabulous talent, and of course she jumped at the World Games. She very nearly, if it hadn't been for a horse going lame, would have jumped at the Olympics, I think, in London 2012.
Yeah, she's going really well out here. This horse is a really, really nice horse, and they have a really good bond together. And her other horse I really like as well. So let's see how she does. This will be a good test, and I'm intrigued to see how it goes for her tonight. Oh, that's a really unlucky fault. He just put a front toe in the back pole. That's there's nothing she could have done about that one. That's the horse just has to see where that back pole is, really, doesn't it? It's just one of those where he just let go of the front leg just a fraction too early.
Yeah, there's not a reason for every fence falling down. Sometimes things just get touched.
Sometimes things just happen, and
some days you can touch the pole with the lightest of touches and the pole falls down, and some other days you can give it a right old clout,
yeah,
and it stays there.
She didn't commit to that 5 strides just in time, left him a bit of work to do, and he jumped it super. So that's just the way it goes. She's making a good sweeping turn to the last line. She wants to finish up on a really good note here, and she just has the one down. She's had a really good round so far.
Sets up, gets out,
That's good.
comes down to the last. It's going to take a couple of time faults with her as well. It's a total of 7. What a shame for that one fence that fell. 7 is the final score, and that puts her out of play this evening, but she could come in on any given occasion, and it could just have been so different.
Yeah, that's just one of those. Look at that. Just, I'd say his shoes knocked that fence. No, just one of those faults. Really unlucky. She did nothing wrong. That's just an unlucky one that have to chalk down to experience.
Well, this young man is almost experienced beyond his years. Has come through the youth ranks here in the United Arab Emirates. He was a winner in week 1. It is Ali Hamid Al-Kurbi here with the starter of Question Racing Cubs. Balu Centre, the mare by Balu Beda Rouet. Experienced ride. And he's one of a strong crop of young riders here in the UAE.
Yeah, I think the younger riders here are, you know, last year was my first year here, but they're already, I think, better even in a year. And like I said, Al Shearer putting on some great young rider classes, and I think it's really developing them. There was an under 25 class yesterday, and it was a ranking class for 25,000 euros. So, you know, to put that kind of prize money on and those kind of courses for them, there's only one way they're going to go, and the sport is going to go in this country, and that's up.
Yeah, alongside the Al Shearer show, the federation as well have included those young riders, the youth classes as I call them, children, junior, young riders, across the board. Every international show within reason includes the youth classes.
Yeah, it's brilliant, you know, that really getting these young riders the kind of mileage and exposure that they need. And I think you see the amount of young riders nowadays that are, you know, they've no fear because they're exposed to this kind of competition from a young age. And then when they get the chance at, you know, 3, 4, 5-star level, they literally have no fear of the occasion or the competitors they're against, whether it be the likes of Christian Alman or any of those top guys. They're ready to take them on and want to take them on.
Well, for the score for Ali Hamid Al-Kurbi, he's gone into 8th place there, 71.47, so 5 now on 4, still 3 clears and 1 on 1 as we move across to Germany. 3 to go before we take a short pause in proceedings. And Yogniev here with the JK Horse Chunks, hopeful, this mare, and another rider who's got plenty of experience, 13-year-old mare by Mr. Blue. Ooh. Looked like he had to work a little bit down there.
Jorg, I think he went 5 strides down there, which definitely wouldn't have been in his plan, but he got away with it. And there's no better man to fix a problem on the fly than Jorg. He's the wealth of experience. So he'll be able to fix this problem on the fly and hopefully get it clear.
Just sailed through the combination. Now we come round triple bar.
Yeah, whatever error that was that the horse saw or whatever from fence 2 to 3 is well and truly gone now. So Jorg now setting up for the last line with a clear still very much in his in the crosshairs. Rides that perfectly.
Here he comes down to the last. Time might get a little tight on him. Is he going to squeeze in? No. 72.16 over the time. He didn't almost deserve that, but time's time.
That's a real shame, and I think where the people who have time are losing it is in that roll back to number 11. I know I keep going on about it,
but that is the obvious place, isn't it?
That is where you can. The reason they're doing it, I think, is when you sweep for number 11, if you jump it from left to right, then it's sending you on a direct line to the double, which will make you go on either a really quiet 7 or a really galloping 6, which you know, unless it's your plan. But for me, it's better to get out, get square, make an outside 7, exactly how Jorg did it and how Christian Alman did it. So I think they're overdoing the turn 2 number 11 a little bit. I think they're losing the fraction of a second, and that's what's, in my opinion, that's what's happening.
Well, all you need to do, if you add 2 or 3 strides in on that turn, on that rollback, and suddenly 2 or 3 seconds has just got a miss.
Exactly, and you think you're up to speed all the way around, and suddenly you're time fault like Jorv and Thierry, and you're scratching your head.
Great experience now with Syria's next. This is Hamed Sebahamsho and Lola, 15-year-old mare by Locarno. As a rider, Trevor, when you just talk about time, is that something that, again, just through experience, you naturally build into your head where you feel you need to be at, what pace you need to be going?
Yeah, definitely. It's something you have to get used to. I mean, when I first started doing international classes, I was always 3-4 seconds over the time allowed. It wasn't at the pace. But over time, you learn what gear you kind of need to be in and the pace you need to be at throughout the course. And like we were saying, it's all just down to experience, and that's why these younger riders are getting, you know, to do these shows, and it's fantastic that they can gain that experience at a young age, and not kind of make those mistakes in the big money classes when it counts.
Well, the man in front of us now has ridden at every level all the way through to multiple Olympic Games. He's using his experience well out there tonight.
This is actually a horse that came from England, Gareth. Lola, Joe Whittaker produced it. It's by Locarno.
Yes.
I know it well. Joe won an awful lot on it. Had a brilliant career on it, and then sold it. Just unlucky there.
So gets towards the end of the track, and that's when the problems start to come into play. And suddenly, in the blink of an eye, you're on an 8-fault score, and it's chances are gone tonight for Lola and Ahmed Sebahamsho there for Syria. So one more to go before we take a short pause for the ground care out there this evening. Just you can see the fence falling there. Started first of the 2 going down. Taking us up to the break, it's going to be Austria and Geoffrey Buck with the 9-year-old gelding Bingo du Parc. Finished second, I believe, in the World Cup round in Abu Dhabi at the Equestrian Club behind Shane. And as Geoffrey, well, he's been having quite a good week.
Yeah, Gerford thinks an awful lot of this horse. It's just 9 years old now, and started off his trip with a fantastic second place in the 4-star event in Abu Dhabi, and he's been going well on it since. So he's really high hopes for this. So interesting to see how he gets on now tonight. It's by actually the horse My Lord Carthago, which Penelope Leprevos rode to huge success, and has been a really good sire. So his progeny now are up to this age and prominence now as well.
Down through the combination.
Yeah, really good there. You can see why Gerford likes this horse, the effort he made there, and so clever with his feet to get out of the way of the poles. Easy. Very good riding there. Gerford didn't panic, set up with his body, and just didn't throw him out. Gerford's much tighter back to this vertical now, like I was talking about, so he's obviously been given the warning signs from the other riders.
Going to make the difference on the time as well, and here we come down towards the last time is on his side, and that could well be the quickest, not quite, but it is clear, and that at this point is all that matters for Geoffrey Puck as he gives us clear round number 4 tonight. He goes into third, and he joins Christian Ullman, Annabelle Juice and Chad Fellows as the clears on the board. What a class that we have developing tonight. We're going to take a short pause, 5 minutes or so, here from Abu Dhabi in this Al Shira Longines Grand Prix, and then we'll be back underway with the second half of this first round of 2 tonight, live here on Clip My Horse TV from the Al Shira International Horse Show.
Ready to start the second part of the first round of the Al-Shira Longfin Grand Prix World Cup qualifier, also qualifier for the Olympic Games. We follow up with Thailand's Max Witt.
Welcome back here to Abu Dhabi. We are set for the second half of this, the opening round of 2 in this, the culmination of 3 weeks. And what a 3 weeks it has been at the Al Shira International Horse Show. We're live from the Al Fassan International Sporting Resort, and this is the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix. This is the big class that we've built towards, and of course it also holds the biggest prize fund, just shy of 95,000 euros. And well, it's a difficult start for the lady from Thailand. This is Yanakakorhorn Kulahandrai with Max Win. And she jumped really well here just a couple of nights ago in the ranking class. She put in a really good performance. But just coming round from the first to the second, suddenly you meet that wall, and well, she's going to have another go. Try again. Much better on the second attempt. Delighted to say that still with me, now well fed and watered, is Trevor Breen.
Thank you, Gareth. Yeah, it's that was just strange, really. I think, like you said, Gareth, coming very early in the course, and you've just turned away from the in and out gate, and then the horse is faced with quite a daunting Al Shira wall, and I think it just took the horse by surprise, and very uncharacteristically said no. Because I know this horse very well, and it's a really, really nice horse, and I don't think I've ever seen it stop before. So yeah, again, just another spanner in the works. Horses throw at you.
They do, and now she's got those couple of little problems out of the way, and she's got it going properly more. She's had that, but it's jumping much more like we used to, and
that's going to be nearly. I think just after the stop, obviously, rattled her rhythm, and then she started chasing a little bit, not maybe trusting him as they normally do, and then, as you can see, again we go back to the course building. When something like that happens, it's very easily that you see the wheels come off, and you just see that was a very uncharacteristic round from those two. They're a very good combination. Who that's the kind of round that they jump 1 in 100.
I speak a lot about rhythm because from what I see that is absolutely the key when you're out there jumping. Once something happens, whether it be a stop or you've had a pole down or the horse has started messing around and that rhythm breaks, rounds so quickly seem to unravel from that point.
Yeah, it's us show jumpers, we harp on about rhythm so much, but for me it is so crucial to a successful round. If in my eyes anyway, it's you should in a perfect world go through the start beam and the finish beam in the same rhythm, and I think if you can do that, the horse is happy. He just jumps out of his canter stride, and then you're not really asking for massive exertions.
Tina Lund on track at the moment here with Corallo, the 11-year-old stallion. Tina, of course, for Denmark, huge experience, based here in the United Arab Emirates, and oh dear, that again uncharacteristic. I was going to say that one of the things I was going to be watching with her was the time, because this is a horse that does have a rhythm that she sort of has to keep it in, and when she tries to push, that's when I've seen the problems come. But at the time has also caused her a problem in other areas.
Yeah, exactly, Gareth. This is a bit like I was saying with Thierry Goffinet's horse. Not he's a huge jumper, a huge scope, but in between the jumps he's quite slow moving. So Tina would always be conscious of the time allowed. And again, something that I've never seen this horse do, to stop at that jump. She was third in the 5-star Grand Prix here at the Nations Cup show last year with this horse. It's a really good horse that she's produced really well over the years out here. Again, this kind of round is not typical of this combination.
Well, she's coming down to the last. She's managed to keep things moving forward. She's wrapped things up and finished on a total of 10 in the end, as Tina Lund there for Denmark. Goes across the line, but I'm sure there'll be disappointment bobbling away inside her because, well, we know so much more can come from them.
Yeah, but we'll see plenty more of them as this trip unravels. We'll be in Sharjah next week for 2 weeks, 3-star first, then a 5-star, and then a 2-star in Sustainable City in Dubai. And then Tina will undoubtedly be back here at the Ladies Show in Al Shira, where I think she'll be licking her lips for that show anyway, and then obviously culminating in the 5-star Nations Cup back here at Al Shira.
It's a busy season, it's a brilliant tour, and it gives all so many opportunities. Coming out next, it's the turn of Walid Al Ghamdi riding here with Senita, this 13-year-old mare by Verdi out of an Indoctrination mare for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, on track now. Just to give you as well, remember we're looking for 12, and at the moment Christian Ullman, Annabelle Jus, Gertrude Puck, Chad Fellows, they're the clears. Then you've got the ones on 1, Jorg Niev and Thierry Goffner. Then on 4 you've got Christa Nerenix, Luis Sabina Goncalves, Abdullah Mohamed Al-Mari, and along with Ali Hamid Al-Kirby and Karen Al-Zogbi. The 12th position at the moment is a 5-fault round, and it's from Khalid Ulbaram Al-Motbi. But now we're into the sort of getting into the depths of the class. If you get over 5, you know you're not coming back.
Yeah, you know you're out. So I think now at this point, riders will start to think, if they have an early fault, they will start to think, put the foot down, because you've nothing to lose now. You know that anything, it's looking like at the moment. I would imagine maybe a couple of 4-faulters will get in, but certainly not more than that. So you're going to have a fast round. So you can see people now, if they have an early fault, will put the foot down and try and get into that second round and get a grab of some of that prize money.
1-9 it is for Walid there, and Sanita 9 the final mark, and obviously that is a few too many for that combination. As we just see the replays out on that round, the next partnership will be fascinating to watch. Flying high as it stands, this man rides, of course, for Egypt, and when it comes to the big occasion, he always seems to find his way to the top. It's Abdul Saeed, and this 10-year-old is Après Jour, the mare by Apache de Reyes. We've got some fabulous new rides early in the year, and again using this tour to develop those partnerships, and of course I don't doubt there's a big focus on Tokyo in his head as well.
Yeah, definitely. Abdul is a top-class rider, top-class professional. He's a really good operation now based in Holland. He has an English guy, Sam Hutton, rides for him and works for him. They have a very big training stables as well. And as you can see, Abdul has secured a few new horses, top-class ones as well. And with this being an Olympic year, I'm sure Abdul has all eyes on that prize at the end of the summer.
And coming round now to the triple bar, he looks like he's really attacking that, but you would want to. But he's keeping up a really good rhythm, and he's gone and used his luck up.
That was very well ridden. He was a little bit off the triple bar, I'm sure, a little bit more than he would have liked, but he managed to settle it down and really give the horse confidence and really settle it down to jump that water trail, which has proven a bit of a bogey fence.
Coming down to the last, this could well be another, and there we have it. It's Abdul Saeed. He's come out singing because tonight he's clear, and what a round that is. 70.26 goes into 4th. It makes 5 clears in all, and it means, of course, now you need at least a good fast 4 to get yourself in to the top 12 positions this evening. But Abdul Saeed and Après Jour, that horse and rider combination, they've just been going along quietly over the past couple of weeks, and then suddenly tonight their plans worked.
Yeah, they have, but already and the first day of this show, they probably should have won the ranking class, and they had the last fence down. Really unlucky. but he was 2 seconds faster than the winner. So I think that is one now that I would seriously watch in the jump off. Really fast horse, and obviously Abdel is a really fast rider, so that's one the other riders will certainly be watching now.
Back to the United Arab Emirates now. This is the turn of Mohammed Al Hadri, riding here with Set Assar, the 11-year-old stallion by Cesaro, this one of Jos Lansing horses. And another rider with plenty of experience.
Yeah, he just struggled to get the short four strides down there and ended up a little bit too deep. The horse just didn't listen. He was doing his best to get him back, and then looks like just rattled him a little bit and had the vertical after. But you see the power and scope coming out of that treble combination. Such ability. Huge jump again at the triple bar.
And even in a position like this, where you've had a couple of fences down, I take it there is still a degree of importance to try and continue, to try and make sure you work out those problems and use what time you've got left in the arena as a training exercise to some degree.
Yeah, it's for me, if you have a younger horse, maybe you definitely keep going. As long as they're not getting rattled and you still feel like they're comfortable and not getting frightened, you would stay continuing on with that developmental mindset. On an older horse, maybe you might think, well, I've had one or two down, I might just save. There's no point. The horse has all the experience. I've just had an off night, or maybe I've made a mistake, or maybe the horse has made a little mistake. But there's plenty other nights we'll save these jumps and keep them for another day. So all those things factor into your decision-making process at that time.
Well, as the fence is falling, now we come round to Syria's Osama Al-Zabibi with the Medara Equestrian Club's Flash Gordon, a horse with experience, 15 years of age, just gelding by for keeps out of a Polydor mare. And this partnership in the last World Cup round in Abu Dhabi at the Equestrian Club, the first week in January, just before the Al Shira show got underway, finished in third place behind Shane and Gertrude. So very much equal to the challenge that's in front of them. How they all compares on the night, we'll find out over the next minute and a half.
Yeah, another young rider, UAE rider, again very talented. I think his father trains him, and they do a great job together. Always working on their horses and always trying to develop them as best they can.
Going round now. Down he comes. In, across the middle.
The horse tried to jump left on him a little bit in the treble, and he held him straight, doing the right thing. But by doing so, just inhibited the back end, and he just clipped it behind. I think, as a rider there, I think he did everything correct. Just you have to not let the drift happen. But by doing so, actually, probably
restricted the movement
restricted the movement in the horse, exactly. So it's a kind of catch me if you can, or catch-22 situation for a rider in that situation.
Well, I tell you, he's gone quickly, 69.56. He's put in one of the fastest times of the night. The only rider that's quicker is Christas Nereninks, both of which, with Osama Al-Zabibi there, are on 4. So it's pushed him up into 9th place. So he's got himself into the top 12 with those 5 clears and 2 on a single time fault, taking up 7 of the positions. It of course only leaves 5 other spots, and that's saying we don't have another clear, so you do need to have a quick fall.
Yeah, I must say I don't see a 4-faulter getting back actually as this class is progressing. I think even those time falters might be actually biting their fingernails at the moment.
I think there are some really big combinations yet to come. Now for the Kingdom of Bahrain, the next to join us is Khalid Hilal Al-Karatri, riding here on Sierra. This is another very experienced partnership. Jumped at the World Games in Tran in 2018. and it's been jumping really nicely here. He got a little bit unlucky the other night, but
yeah, it's a lovely horse. This I really felt from last night. He was we're jumping the Derby, and it was a different horse, but he stopped at the first fence and then went around clear all the way. Had a fantastic round, and I felt so sorry for him. But
it was a stone wall, in all fairness.
Yeah, it's a really really ugly first fence. I think they were mimicking the Hickstead first fence in the Derby.
Yeah.
But this was a red brick wall, which really wasn't inviting. And his horse took particular exception to it. But I must say, he recovered fantastically, jumped a super round after.
Well, he's out there doing all he can at the moment, and with 10 out of the way, he knows he's 4 jumping efforts away.
He's gone very wide on that turn, so
I'd say though he's a lot quicker across the floor at the moment. He's been really forward all the way, and he's coming down with time to spare here. That was a sensational round, and that time puts him in pole position. 68.68, he's quicker than Christian Ullmann, and that puts Khalid Hilkahatri for the Kingdom of Bahrain on top of the pile.
Brilliant round there, so well ridden. I was thinking he'd gone a bit wide, but obviously he had such a good ground speed the whole way around, well inside the time, and actually the fastest clear, so brilliantly judged and well done. He knew exactly what he was doing.
He did indeed, and I see your point as well in terms of 4 faults and time faults might still fall by the wayside yet tonight.
Yeah, definitely 4 faults. I can't see them getting in, but maybe a time fault or might.
New experience for Trevor coming up now, because it's time to commentate on the next to go, and it's the turn of Shane Breen, riding here with Ipswich van der Vulsaka, the sensational stallion by Caramba de Muse for Breeder Question and Jos Lansing horses. Shane, of course, the winner of the last World Cup round in Abu Dhabi those few weeks ago. This is the horse that took him to victory in Dublin last year, and this is for Ireland.
Yeah, so this is he's actually Z7 Ipswich now. So Sheikh Ameta has just purchased him for Shane to keep the ride, which is really fantastic for Shane and the whole team at Z7. This would be great if he could have a good result here and back up his win a couple of weeks ago.
This horse is one of the real special ones that Shane's ever had to sit on.
Yeah, it's a horse Shane has had since he was 6 years old. That's a pity. He's had him a long time. He's a very sharp horse, not easy to ride, naturally very quick. But he's done some fantastic things for Shane. He won the Global Champions Tour in Monaco for him, and probably the sweetest moment of all was when he won Dublin Grand Prix last year. And as Irishmen, that's what we all dream of.
Absolutely.
So to win that was, I think, that was sweet. I must say I was so happy when he won it. You'd think I'd won it myself.
Well, what a shame it's going to be. Although we will say that at 69.61 it will put him in for the minute. He's got into 11th place, but it's going to be tough to stay there for Shane. And that middle part of the combination, just unlucky. We'll have another look.
Yeah, couldn't really see. Just jumped in good, just left the right toe on it. Again, you can't really, I think for me, Ipswich and Shane did everything right, but Ipswich just dropped his right front toe on it. And again, like we spoke about, just a tiny little error that's unfortunately probably going to keep them out of the jump off.
Well, hopefully Shane won't want to leave too quickly and you can stay with us all the way through. So
generally I have to drive, so he can't go.
I am aware of that. I know the deal. On we go. Germany's turn. Of course, the one clear so far from Christian Ullmann, and that one-time penalty from Jörg Niev. The German riders certainly coming alive tonight. Holger Wulschner now with Caricius, this 11-year-old gelding by Casero Orlando Mare. Again, another rider with plenty of experience to fall back on, and just building his way down to this combination.
Rode in super there. Oh, and the same as Shane. And again, for me, as a rider looking at that, I think he did exactly the right thing. And again, just a mistake like Z7 Ipswich did. Just one of those things. But
they're the sort of taps, like I said earlier, that one day you'll get away with them, another day you don't.
Exactly, and you can't. As riders, you can only do what we believe to be the best thing for our horse, to put them in the right place, that we believe that will allow them to jump it. And I think both Shane and Holger will be going out that gate thinking that they did the best they could there.
Well, it is in the end a total of 12 there for the German rider of Holger Rüschner and Caceres. 12 it is, as the first one down was.
But I think that was a real example there at Holger. As soon as he knocked the treble, you could see straight away how quickly he came to the triple bar. He was really trying for a really fast 4, and I think that's why he turned really quickly back to fence 11, and I think that's why he had the other 2 jumps
when
down.
You have to start pushing, you open up the risk factor.
Exactly, and that was, I think, a prime example of that. I think a 12 fault round doesn't really reflect the round as such. I think it would have been a 4 fault round had Holger just continued on his rhythm, but obviously Holger is a fierce competitor and he wanted to get back in for the jump off.
Absolutely. Right now, talking of fierce competitors, this man has been one for more years than most of us can count. It is, of course, Michael Whittaker for Great Britain, the 5-time Olympian. He rides tonight with the 10-year-old gelding. This is Flintstering, the gelding by Tangelo van der Soeterhove, and Michael with 2 horses out here. This is his second week, and he's had a couple of unlucky poles in the last couple of classes. He's really hoping to put it right tonight, but there we have it.
Yeah, again, another fault. Just a relatively easy fault. This horse will be quite inexperienced though. It's new to Michael, or relatively new to Michael. It's owned by Graham Gillespie, but it was a horse competed by James Smith up in Scotland previous to Michael. So I know James did compete it quite a bit, but certainly at this level it will be green. So Michael is still just getting to know it. But I do think, I know there's a few poles on the floor here, but I think Michael will do big things with this horse in the future.
So he'll now be using what's happening out there just to work out which buttons he really needs to push at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a 10-year-old horse, so yeah, he's just retiring now with a double combination. It's quite a big ask to come out of that. So I think Michael's probably thought, enough is enough. Few down. There's no point trying to kill the horse to come out of that double when there's no real need to. So true horsemanship from Michael, as we've come to expect from Michael Whittaker.
Well said. There's the first fence that went, and the plank goes down. Well, still a little way to go in this opening round, and still some big names to watch, and this would be one. It is David Will for Germany, the ride, the 10-year-old gelding Never Walk Alone by Numero Uno. This is the partnership that the Nations Cup meeting at the Royal International Horse Show in Hickstead last summer won the Grand Prix, the King George V Gold Cup, and this partnership therefore have proved themselves right at the top end, and it'll be fascinating to see what they can do here this evening. Didn't quite work out last week in the 3-star, but we'll see you tonight.
Yeah, David, obviously based in Germany. Ooh, he's taken a dislike to number 3.
Little water tray underneath it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have imagined David would have been anticipating that as a problem, because, like you mentioned, he won the King George in Hickstead, and they jump a double of ditches in that. So, and that's notoriously the toughest open water probably in the world. So, I can't imagine David would have. Ooh.
Does it make a difference if we go back to what you said? Because if I'll wait for somebody to correct me later. I don't think David's jumped this horse in the ranking classes outside of the Grand Prix. He's kept it in the lower classes, which are in the daytime. And then you come out, and if I remember rightly, last week it was that similar oxer with the little tray under it that he had there.
Oh well, you could be right, Gareth. I'm going to go with your with your knowledge on that one. But if that is true, which undoubtedly it is, knowing your knowledge of what we all jump in, it could be like we said. This could be just a trip to get used to jumping under lights and stuff like that, and it does have a big effect on certain horses because, like I said, this horse has jumped in Hickstead and won. And
It's an amazing horse.
Yeah, and I know David really, really thinks highly of this horse and has a real eye in the future with him. So this will, I would imagine, be unexpected for David. And I think David has shown his horsemanship, like Michael Whittaker just before him. He's probably done his education now, and that double does take a lot of jumping. So I think he's retired, and I think that again, like my true horsemanship.
Yeah, well, in a row, we've now lost what I thought were four of the big contenders this evening, with Shane, Holger, Michael and David all falling by the wayside, so to speak, although I know Shane's still holding on in there. But
I think if the bookies were here, you would have definitely backed at least one, if not two of those four going clear.
You would have been looking at that and going, okay.
And that's why I was writing off the four falters staying in the top 12, because I was assuming a few of those would have gone clear, but there's still plenty more that can go clear to come.
Well, last week this partnership went clear. They jumped a brilliant opening round in that 3-star Grand Prix here 1 week ago, and now they're back to try and repeat the feat in the 4-star Grand Prix here, this Al Shira Longines Grand Prix. It is Ahmed Mansour and the 11-year-old mare Estoril de Vadag, the mare by Valiant out of a Conway mare. They jumped a super opening round. It didn't quite work out for them in the jump-off last week, but it certainly proved that it's got all of the ability, and they've won a lot of classes together in the past as well.
Yeah, I mean, last week it was obviously a star down. It was the 3-star Grand Prix. This is 4-star, but it was a really tough track last week. There was only 6 clears, and they jumped, like you said, a fantastic first round. So hopefully he can back that up, and he's had a good start so far, so hopefully he can back it up.
Keep an eye on this combination.
Yeah, goes to 7. Rode that well. Very good. And this, again, as you can see, is a naturally fast horse. So between the jumps, always moving, always travelling. He's got an extra stride there. And there. And he's paid the price. So, again, that's the course builder having his way. You've got to, I think that is, for me, it's a committed 5 and then 6 afterwards. I know some have gone 7 to the water tray, but I think once he went 6 to the Oxer, he was in trouble.
Well, he's trying to make sure, even with one down, it's still a quick 1:71.61 is the final time there for the combination for Jordan and Ahmed Mansour, and that round, just waiting for it to come up, is just outside, so that's not quite quick enough for the 12. Estoril Vadag goes 15th in the order. If they are to go round and set a quick 4 full time to break in to those top 12, they need to go quicker than Luis Sabino Goncalves. That's 70.79 seconds on a score of 4. Shane Breen holding on in 11th, also on 4, as is Osama El-Zibi and Kustas Nedenix. There are the 4 of them. This is the young man that finished in 3rd in that big Grand Prix last week. It's the same ride that he had then, and it's the same ride that took him to 2nd in the 4-star Grand Prix in Liverpool. It is Jack Whittaker, with Michael Whittaker and Molly Ostrom's 11-year-old stallion, Elucar by Cardento, out of a Lipicore mare. He's certainly following in his dad's footsteps. He's a great young talent, and, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Jack is a really rising star for Britain, but he's having his work cut out from here early on. But he's shooting up the world rankings now, and he was telling me he's on a global champions team for the coming year. So I think you're going to see a lot more of Jack, and still at just 18 years of age, he's I think the world is his oyster.
That's quite amazing. And that's great news as well for him. I hadn't heard about the global team, so that's brilliant for Jack to be part of that series.
Oh, just yeah, it's a great opportunity. Again, they want to ride her at under 25 level, so Jack qualifies for that, obviously, and that again opens a massive door for those under 25 riders.
It's great that the youth continue. Everyone's been sensible about making sure opportunity comes their way, but even when the opportunity is given, you've got to be able to go out there and grasp it. Jack is doing that tonight, not so lucky. He finishes on a score of 8 with Elakar, but he won't be too disappointed, I'm sure, with his 2 weeks here.
Jack will. He's very competitive.
Okay,
he wants to do well every class, every show, and so does that man there, his dad. But
I was glad he's okay, because he took a real tumble last night in the Derby.
In the Derby, yeah, at the water. But no, Jack will be back again. He had a great. I think he was third in the Grand Prix last week in the 3-star.
Third, yeah.
So yeah, they've had a great start, and I think Michael and Jack, I think they were third and fourth in a ranking class.
Yep.
Michael
that was their
pipped
first
him.
day.
Yeah, so they've had a good start. Yeah, they'll repair whatever went wrong with their 2 horses tonight, and they'll be back firing again next week, no doubt.
There'll be a short pause now. So the next to go is Abdullah Al-Shabatli. And the Abdullah, of course, is top of the Arab League at the moment, and the performances that are up for grabs tonight could see either him stay there or perhaps one of the riders from the United Arab Emirates maybe move up, but it'll come down to this. So he's certainly somebody not only playing with the Grand Prix this evening, he's also got that points league to take into consideration. Well, this ride tonight that he has is Larry. He's a rider, though, you can never rule out on the big occasion. He's always seems to find a new horse, and when he gets the horse, it seems to always be ready for the class.
Yeah, Abdullah, he kind of just he buys older horses. And then he likes to stay at this level with Grand Prix, and he does a fantastic job. He quickly gets them into his system, and he tends to click with them very, very fast and win. And again, Abdullah wins a lot, really a lot.
Let's remember as well, he's a Olympic team bronze medalist. He's a world individual silver medalist.
Yeah, he's done it all, but still, on his day, there's not many that go faster than him. He really goes all duck or no dinner in a jump off.
I've never heard that saying before, to be fair. That's what's completely got me. I've learnt something new tonight. All duck and all dinner. I will remember that one. Right, he's coming down. He's going to need a little bit of pace here, because I tell you, with the 4, he's going to need to make sure he can get himself in. And 67, 26 is the fastest of the 4. Absolutely. Everything you just said came to life in terms of time. He's quick.
Yeah,
and in so many ways, he didn't, like when you watched him come down to the treble combination, he really had to take a hold, and it almost slowed it down to nothing.
Yeah, the horse has a really big stride, and I think Abdullah, it was a really cheap rail that he knocked, actually, the back pole of that Oxer. I'm sure that wasn't one that he was targeting as being a problem, but yeah, he'll be looking to obviously try and get in at the fastest 4, and it looks like he actually might.
He might well do, and of course that'll be a big boost to him in terms of his points as well, to try and qualify for Las Vegas. What that's done is push Luis Sabino Goncalves down. It puts Shane Breen on the bubble in 12th place now. As we go to Jordan, and to a great talent for Jordan, this lady has jumped some super rounds. It's Messam Bisharat riding in Dollar de Blundell, the 12-year-old stallion by Dollar de la Pierre. And again, this is another that's more than up to the challenge this evening. If they can get the rub of the green and things go their way, you would not rule them out either.
No, and I think, like you said there, I think to win any class you need a bit of luck. You can't do everything exactly how you planned, so there's always going to be a place where you need a bit of luck and things to go your way. But this horse has huge amount of jump and huge amount of scope. Easy up there in the 7 strides. Really well ridden there and well out. Keeping a good rhythm as well. Easy 5 strides. This horse has a really big stride. And not an easy horse for her to control. He's quite strong and forward going.
Now she's gone quite wide there, but I would again say she'll probably be okay because she's kept up such a good rhythm the rest of the way round. She's going to get tight. Actually, she's going to get a lot tighter than I thought she might. That wide loop back has given her one fault. 73.52. I don't think she's too disappointed.
No, it's just, you see by her face, she's pretty happy with that, and so she should be. That was a really fantastic round. She rode such a good round there. Gave him a really good spin, and our horse gave everything back for her, and that's all you can ask for.
So brilliant for her. She's gone into 8th place. Regretfully for Shane Breen, it means that he will now drop out, and it brings down on to the bubble in 12th now Samar Al Zabibi, Flash Gordon, the 4 in 69.56. Only 3 on 4 holding on. Osama Kistaz Nedenix and Abdul Al Shabatli. Which means we now move into the, I think, final 7 to go. And this is Vladimir Tuganov. We spoke about him earlier. Of course, his horse that's with Chad Fellows jumped the clear. This is Supens Floreval for the double Olympian, double World Games rider. Masses of experience and ability.
Yeah, Vladimir is a really experienced rider and has a really lovely bunch of horses. Really good ride into the treble, and the same thing has happened quite a few now. Sometimes, in a way, the riders getting in really good to the treble are having the middle part down. So it's a really well built course by Bernardo here. It's catching people everywhere, which is always a great sign of a course when it's just not just one fence falling all the time. That I think we've seen pretty much every fence cause a problem, haven't we?
I was going to say, actually, I would agree now. The only one I can't remember I've seen go down is the first. Every other fence on this course has gone down at some point, and you just never know where to look because you don't know what's going to happen. 8 for Vladimir, though. Getting a little the first fence has just gone down.
But that's it's a good sign of a course when, because the last thing you want is something unjumpable or unfair to a horse, where this is very fair. It's obviously big and wide, but as you can see, horses are they're jumping everything
and that's
comfortably,
so
and having faults. So it's the way a course should be.
And that's what he's done that time and time and time again, Bernardo. He is a magician when it comes to working out what is the right test, because it's got to be fair. It's got to be fair. It's got to be to a standard. It's got to be to a level, but it's got to be fair. And then that, I think, is the key. What I see every time it's fair.
Yeah, exactly. And to get that right every time is not easy.
Right, this is a big round as well, because this is for the United Arab Emirates. They ride for Abdullah Hamed Al Mari, the man that qualified via the league, the World Cup Arab League, to go for the United Arab Emirates to the World Cup final in Gothenburg last year. He's second behind Abdullah Al Shabatli at the moment on their league table. And with Cha Cha Cha, the ride he's had out, of course, in Europe through the summer, this mare by Chaco Blue, there'll be a lot of eyes keeping a very close watch.
Yeah, I think it's the last Al Shira rider now, so everyone will be down at the pocket cheering this combination on. A really, really lovely horse. Really tries, gives its best, and as you can see, I've cursed him again. But it is a lovely horse. His expression again, ears pricked, always looking for the fence, wants to go, yeah, just a shame that one down.
And interestingly, it was the first part this time, just touched it with a toe, and it's fallen. But now he's knows what the deal is, and although he's taken quite a wide roll back on there, and that puts pay to his chances, unfortunately. Comes down, jobs the last, and it is a score of 8, 68-58, but the time becomes irrelevant with the fence down. Disappointment there for a top combination, and such a popular combination here. They've spent the summer out in Europe, and it's been great to see them jumping through the summer season against some of the best in the world. They've got themselves out there.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Al Shira have a base in England as well, near Guildford, and they have a lot of horses based there. And you know, you've got to go and test yourself against the best if you want to progress and hunt for medals at the major championships, which these guys all do. But you've got to go, you know, in the summer you've got to go to Europe and do that, and now that's what they're doing. And I think, you know, like I said, I was here last year, but I think already this year the standard is better from them. They're literally getting better year on year.
Which is great to see, and it's what world sport is all about, and the more you can bring it together at the top level, the better it gets. This now is the last of the challenges for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is Abdulrahman Baraharaji riding here with a Bravour, the 14-year-old gelding by name Lassar, out of a Burggraf mare, and that, what happened there?
Again, similar to earlier. Just that number 2, you come around that corner and you see that wall and they just think, ooh, that's a bit scary. But this is quite an experienced horse, and I'm surprised to see it, to look at the wall like that. And as you can see,
it's
again,
unsettled it a little as well, hasn't it?
We've spoken about it, the wheels are coming off. You know, when something like that happens that early, generally this is the outcome. So we'll see now whether he continues and tries to settle him down and get him back in a nice rhythm, or whether he thinks, I'll save him for another day.
At the moment, he's going to keep going.
He's just very strong today, this horse, and he just doesn't seem to be listening to Abdul at all. So I think that's probably the reason he's kind of still going, just trying to, maybe he's a little bit fresh and just wants to get him back. But again, he pulls up before the double. I was
going to say, they've all got sensible before then, so never mind. But he will be disappointed. You know, there's a lot more within that partnership.
Yeah, he will, but again, you know, showing some true horsemanship again. You know, no point jumping that double when you've had a round like that. He's kind of got him back as best he can, and he's done the right thing for his horse.
So there are now 4 left to go in this opening round of jumping. There are 2 for Great Britain, 1 for Ireland, and 1 for the United Arab Emirates, as we just see there on shot, one of the Saudi riders. So there's the first of the 2 British riders. It is William Funnell with a Billy Studs, Billy Diamo, the 10-year-old gelding by Kevin Z out of an Andy Armo mare. It was fabulous to see this pair go so well last week in that 3-star Grand Prix. They finished in 2nd place. Of course, this pair was it back last year at the Royal Windsor Horse Show in the richest Grand Prix ever to take place in the UK. Finished in 3rd in that big 5-star class. But it is a fabulous partnership, and it was just really good to see them on song last week. Well, let's see what happens now in the 4-star.
Yeah, William has come out here for I think 3 weeks. He's just brought 2 horses, this one and Billy McCain. Obviously has a huge operation back in England with the Billy Stud himself and Donald Barnwell, so he probably can't be away for too long, leaving all that go, but he's certainly making hay while the sun shines out here with the result he had last week.
Yeah, the breeding operation back home is quite something, and it's paying dividends for him, but this is one that he thinks a huge amount of. And I was talking to Zoe, his groom, and they put an awful lot of work in on fitness, a lot of hill work, and really improving Billy Diamo's ability to just move at a little bit more pace, so that time allowance don't become too much of an issue.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that will be at the back of Will's mind here in this round. He won't want to have a time fall, so but at the moment he seems to be on the pace, and he's ridden this perfectly so far. So hopefully, if he's judged the time right, which I'm not sure he has.
It's going to go just over, unfortunately. Yes, so he's going to be one of those that are going to be on that one full score. And there's going to be sort of two battles tonight at the start of that second round with the way it's going to work. We'll talk about that in a moment. 73.81.
Yeah, that definitely for Will, you know, coming in, he'd have known he was against the clock, as well as the jumps, and he'll probably be a bit rueful at himself there. But to be honest, I don't see what more he could have done really. He couldn't have gone much tighter to 11, and so that's just one of those things. You've got to take your beating sometimes, and because like I said, you can only do what the horse is you know, comfortable to do, and you know, maybe if he tried to push harder somewhere, he'd have had one down. So I'm sure Will just took that one on the chin, and hopefully he can climb the leaderboard in the second round.
So Ireland go next. It's hard to quite describe in the right words how well this young man has done in the last 12 months, and certainly since his arrival here in the United Arab Emirates. He's been on fire in his performances. It's Michael Pender with HHS Calais. Yeah,
Mikey is one of Ireland's big talents coming up. Literally whatever he touches at the moment turns to gold. And he's like, since he's been 16, he's been winning everything. And in Zangerside, young horses, championship, world championships, literally everything in Ireland. And now, you know, in the last couple of years, really seen him on the kind of 2, 3, 4 star and 5 star Grand
Prix in Geneva when he jumped the clear on Burnchurch, I thought was
amazing,
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he's a guy with a huge amount of talent, huge amount of feeling. And yeah, you're gonna hear a lot more of Mikey Pender as the years go on. Still only 20 years old.
I know, and he won the Derby here last night to do the double with, of course, became the youngest ever winner at the Al Shira Derby at Hickstead last year.
And he's going to be clear here if he can just jump this.
He's done it, yeah. And the story continues as Michael Pender goes clear for Ireland. HHS Calais. He really has been one of the stories of this week.
Yeah, it's a horse he thinks an awful lot of. He's, you know, Marion Hughes and Miguel Bravo bred him, and they brought him up the ranks, and I think he jumped his first ever Grand Prix last week. So this is only his second ever Grand Prix, and to jump a clear round is a really great achievement, and well done to all involved there.
Fabulous round from Michael Pender. What a story it would be if he could manage to do a double in terms of back-to-back big classes here at the Al Shira International Horse Show over the 2 nights, but we'll worry about that in round 2. We just know he'll be part of it. Salam Ahmed El Savari, the last for the United Arab Emirates. Home support will be getting behind this round to try and ensure representation in round number 2. This is Check Me, the 10-year-old gelding, by Check In out of a Staccato mare. It's another that rider is certainly more than capable. They just need things to click.
Yes, this horse has a huge amount of scope and a huge stride, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of numbers he'll do on those distances. I would imagine the flowing numbers. Rode that well. Now he's got a pull. Yeah, that was. He's got, like I mentioned, he's such a big stride, and that's is a quiet 4. And there again, really close on the 4 strides again. So this is where the horse is actually working against himself with such a big stride.
Well, there's only one full round hanging on in there at the moment, and it's Abdullah Al-Shamatli. And of course, the just one more rider to go after this. So we'll wait to see what happens. I think that's it. He's decided to call it. Yes, he has. Check Me stops and retires. And then there is just the one to go, and that'll be Samuel Hutton in a minute. Sam Hutton when we get to that next round, of course your clears are all starting on a level playing field. They're time straight out against the clock. That's obvious. Those one fault rounds, the catch-22, because you want to go quicker than the other one fault, but you want to jump clear to catch the clear rounds that knock the fences down.
Yeah, it's gonna turn into a two-tier jump-off, really.
Yeah.
There'll be a jump-off nearly between the one-faulters, who are kind of want to finish up the best of the one-faulters.
Yeah.
And then there'll be the clear rounds, who obviously can win it. Or, well, anyone can win it, but if they have one down, they'll go to 5 faults, which will be worse than the one fault. So essentially it'll be like a two-tier jump-off.
It'll be interesting to see what happens, and what will this pair do? This is Sam Hutton. He rides tonight with the Old Willow Farms Curious George, although, of course, Sam, who rides for Abdul Saeed, based there in Belgium with him. And this is a former ride of Laura Crowd, if I've got that right. And this is an 11-year-old by Codex One.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Gareth. Laura rode this up until recently. It's just gone to Abdul's stable, and Abdul rode it at the first show out here, and now Sam has it, and both, forming a really good partnership. I know Sam was really excited to have him for this week, but this is his first show on the horse, so big test to see if they can gel this quickly, but they're doing a great job together so far.
Well, he's at least got the combination out the way now.
Really well ridden up that 5 strides to the Oxer, and there, jump it.
Oh. No, now I don't think he can challenge that time of 67.26. I don't think. No, well, it's all over now. So the order is set. The clears we know, and we can give you the order of that second round of jumping. 4 fault of Abdullah Al-Shabatli. Then it'll be the single faults of Thierry Goffin, William Funnell, Meysan Bisharat, York Nieva. Then we'll go on to the clears of Chad Fellows, Michael Pender, Abdul Saeed, Gerfrid Park, Annabelle Jost, Christian Allman, and Pole. And last to go will be Khalid Hilal Al-Kharatri for the Kingdom of Bahrain. We will be back in a short while with the second round of jumping here for this Al Shira Grand Prix.
We know the other riders coming up for the second round. It will be in reverse or on an order of very good start with the 4-faulter Abdullah Shabatli. Running up the riders with 1 time for Thierry Goffin, William Funnell, Meysan Bisharat, York Nieva. And we go with all the 2 rounds. Chad Fellows, Michael Pender, Abdul Saeed, Gerfrid Park, Yost Osama, and Khalid Al-Kharatri will answer here.
تطور الفروسية وبالأخص في الحرص على الحواجز في الإمارات. أفضل الخيول والفرسان اجتمعوا في هذه الدورة الدولية.
riders that are here with its excellent footing and nice fences and top material. Top show in the world, the top venue, top riders, fantastic atmosphere. Very, very glad about it.
فتحت رعاية الشيخة فاطمة بنت وزاع بنت زايد النهيان رئيسة مجلس إدارة أكاديمية فاطمة بنت مبارك للرياضات النسائية. وعلى مدى 4 أيام عشنا فصول كان مستوى تقني جد كبير بمشاركة متميزة لأبرز الفرسان على الصعيد العالمي. تبلغ قيمة الجوائز المالية 300 ألف يورو، كانت مقسمة على 7 أشواط، بدأت ب 10,000 يورو إلى 95 ألف يورو بمشاركة أزيد من 200 فرس في فئات البطولة وأزيد من 140 فارسا وفارسة. وصل عدد الدول الحاضرة في هذه البطولة الدولية نحو 20 بلدا. فبطولات الشراع تعتبر حدث جد مهم باعتباره يواكب التطور والرقي في رياضة الفروسية التي تحظى بدعم كبير من القيادة الرشيدة. فالبطولة شهدت تدافع غير مسبوق للحضور والتشجيع نظرا لأهمية التي تقتضي الإمارات في إقامة البطولات العالمية على أرضها، وأيضا التقدير الكبير الذي حصلت عليه البطولة من قبل الاتحاد الدولي للفروسية FEI خلال البطولات الثلاث التي أقيمت مؤخرا. أيضا هذه البطولة تشهد لأول مرة شوطا تأهيليا لكأس العالم في ولاية لاس فيغاس الأمريكية في شهر أبريل القادم. وأيضا من ضمن أهداف اتحاد إمارات الفروسية والسباق الذي تأسس سنة 1992، فمن أهداف الاتحاد هو تطوير مستوى رياضة القفز على الحواجز من خلال تنظيمه لبطولات محلية وأيضا تدريب فرسان الإمارات في معسكرات خارجية على مستوى عالمي وإشراكهم في منافسات دولية ويضم أيضا كفاءات عالية. والهدف المحدد هو بناء قاعدة واسعة لهذه الرياضة وإعداد جيل من الفرسان قادر على إعادة فروسية الأجداد لتواكب نهضة الحاضر.
The arena is open for coursework for the 12 riders joining us for the second round of the Al Shira Longines World Cup Grand Prix.
والحلبة مفتوحة أمام وجه الفرسان السبع الذين سوف يشاركون في مباراة التميز.
We remind that we'll start this second round in reverse order of merit of round number one. Means Abdullah Al-Shabatli will start as number one with 4 faults out of round one. We'll go on with riders taking 1 time fault away in the round number one. Thierry Goffinet, William Fanel, Maïsam Bicherat and Jörg Neve. And we'll go on with the clear rounds, starting with Chad Fellows, Michael Pender, Abdel Said, Yafrit Pouk, Annabel Yost, Christian Alman, and the fastest clear of round number one, Khalid Hilal Al-Khatri from Bahrain.
This week we improve again the level of the courses and we increase the difficulty of the courses that we need because of all the top riders that are here with this excellent footing and nice fences and top material. Top show in the world, the top venue, with top riders, fantastic atmosphere. Very, very glad that I'm here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're now 10 minutes away from the first start at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, first start of the second round. We remind to all of you, 9 o'clock, first start of the second round of the Al Shira Longines World Cup Grand Prix. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're now 10 minutes exactly away from the first start, 9 o'clock for the second round, and we'll go on with the 3D animation of the course set up by Bernardo Costa Cabral. We'll start with the first fence, the vertical number 1 in this second round, just in front of the rider's stand. We'll go on right hand to the Al Forsan Sports Oxer number 2 with a line to the delicate white vertical number 3. We get a rollback to the vertical number 4 just in front of the VIP area, followed up by the Longines Oxer number 5. You can take a shortcut, a short turn to the fence number 6 of the Abu Dhabi Sports Council on the center of the arena. Turning on left hand, also that you can take the option to turn in front of fence number 2 to go on the combination 7A, 7B, double vertical of Al Shira, and we'll be going up to the last fence with the colors of Longines number 8. All this with a length of 350 meters and a time allowed of 56 seconds, because I remind you the speed standing up at 375 meters per minute in the second round of this Al Shira Longines Grand Prix World Cup qualifier and also qualifier for the Olympic Games. We get the 3D animation now for the Arabic version with my colleague Hassan. Up to you.
إذن البداية في هذه المرحلة الثانية مع الحاجز رقم 1 الفيرتيكال. سوف نتجه مباشرة نحو لوكسير رقم 2 وأمامنا الحاجز رقم 3 دوران في اتجاه اليسار في اتجاه الحاجز رقم 3 ثم دوران في اتجاه الحاجز رقم 4 5 هناك لوكسير رقم 6 ثم الدوران في اتجاه الجهة اليسرى نحو الحاجز 5 والسرعة مطلوبة في هذا المكان والنهاية في الحاجز رقم 8 56 ثانية هو الوقيت المحدد ودائما العلو 1.50 متر و1.60 سنتيمتر.
We're now 6 minutes away from the first start.
this week we improve again the level of the courses and we increase the difficulty of the courses that we need because of all the top riders that are here with this excellent footing and nice fences and top material. Top show in the world, in the top venue, with top riders, fantastic atmosphere. Very, very glad that I'm here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix, continuing of course for the Jumping World Cup of the Arab League, will start in a really short moment now. We're 4 minutes away from the first start. Make your bet, make your guess on your favorite rider, of course, on the Spectator app, because you can win, of course, a wonderful 3-day trip to the Al Shira Hickstead Horse Show 2020. One rider on 4 faults. We go on with 4 riders with 1 time fault and going up with a total of 7 clear rounds. Make your bet. Thus the victory will be for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for Belgium, Great Britain, Jordan, Germany, Ireland, Austria, USA or Bahrain. Make your guess. Of course, to create a top Grand Prix, Al Shira Longines Grand Prix here at the Al Forsan Equestrian Center, we need also the help of you, dear guests, dear crowd, dear public, to join us at each entry. Every time a rider is entering the arena, to give a round of applause, to give them the motivation to deliver the best of the best, and whatever happens, passing the Longines Oxer number 8, to give them a round of applause till the exit.
إذن مرة أخرى نرحب بالجمهور والحضور الكريم في مباراة التميز، والتي تعرف مشاركة 12 دولة في هذه المباراة. هناك المملكة العربية السعودية، بلجيكا، بريطانيا، الأردن، ألمانيا، إيرلندا، مصر، النمسا، الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، ثم البحرين. 56 ثانية هو التوقيت المحدد، والارتفاع ما بين 1.50 سنتيمتر و 1.60 سنتيمتر. الفرسان الذي سوف يشاركون في مباراة التميز يعتبرون من خيرة الفرسان على الصعيد العالمي. حتى الترتيب حاضر في هذه البطولة الدولية. نذكر الألماني كريستيان ألمان، ترتيبه العالمي 11، وهو من بين أبرز الفرسان على الصعيد العالمي. حضوره هنا في بطولة الشراع الدولي 4 نجوم هو تأكيد على نجاح هذه البطولة.
Less than 2 minutes before the start.
وأطلب من الجمهور لما يدخل الفارس نصفق عليه بحارة ونلتزم الهدوء حتى آخر حاجز، وهو الحاجز رقم 8.
1 minute. 1 minute before the first start. Imagine the last vertical, the last oxer on the warm-up arena. Getting a look again, the full concentration on your course.
وأيضا الشركة السيدي الشركة الرسمية في رياضة الفروسية في جميع أنحاء العالم.
Last, the one for the first rider. Last look on the course. The second round of the Al-Shira Longines Grand Prix, continental for the FEI 21 Arab League.
Welcome back to the Al-Shira International Horse Show 2020, live here in Abu Dhabi. This is what it comes down to. This is what we worked towards over 3 weeks of quite phenomenal competition, and it's built its way to the Al-Shira Longines Grand Prix. We are set now for the 12 in this, the second round of jumping. The first comes back on 4, then we have those on that single time penalty, of which there are 4, and then it is on to the clears. Trevor Breen still with me here in the box. Thank you, Trevor, 2-time Al-Shira Hickstead Derby winner, and you've been competing out here for the last 3 weeks. Abdullah Al-Shamatli's going to go first. He has the score of 4. It's a brand new course of fences that have been set out, which you can take us round. But what do you do when you're the one rider on 4? What's the approach?
I think in Abdullah's case now, I think he just has to go for it. And in the best case scenario for him is he's the fastest in this round and carry his 4, and he hopes anyone else knocks some jumps down. So he has to go full throttle.
Right,
so this 1 to 2 is a good long run, and this is a short 5 strides, especially for Abdullah. It's a really big horse with a really big stride. Loop back on yourself to this fence, which was the same loop back in the first round to the final line. That's well ridden from Abdullah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's, I think, the number they're all going to go down there. Quickly across. It's not a wide oxer, this. And then drop inside fence 2 to double of verticals. Take care here, and then 8 home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, and I actually chatted to Abdullah in the course walk, and he was he thought it was an 8 home, and he actually got 7. So that just shows you the size of that horse's stride.
Absolutely, 41.35 is the time. He's done all he can do now. He's just going to have to sit back, watch and wait, and hope the others make mistakes, because he's gone as quick as he can, and he's jumped the clear to finish where he started on a score of 4. Now we come to something quite fascinating, because you worded it as a 2-tier jump off. In a weird way it is, because we've got 3 now on this single time fault that have got to work it out between themselves to see who's putting the most pressure on the clears.
Yeah, so this is a tricky situation. So obviously if any of these guys now, after Abdullah's posted that clear, if these have a fence down, they're behind Abdullah. So I think they, in theory, need to be the best of the one faulters. Obviously they want to go clear, and then they've got to then hope that the clear rounders have a 4 faults as well. So these now really have to beat each other on 1, and then hope that might be good enough in the end.
So this is Belgium's challenge. Thierry Goffret riding Cadet Russu Z. We know how quick he can be, but what risks is he willing to take?
So there's this again, a really big horse like we spoke about, big stride. He's done the same strides as Abdullah did in the first round, and he's done 7 there, so it's 1 less than Abdullah. So technically speaking, he should be up.
Well, Abdullah landed over this fence in 29. He's down in 30, so he is a second down at the moment.
Down, yeah. So I think he'll just 1, 2, 3.
Coming down to the last there, and he jumps it, and at least he stayed. At least he stayed on. He finishes as well where he started. 44.15 is the final time. So that 44.15 for Thierry Hoffet and that single fault is what he remains on.
So again, Thierry, it's strange. He got one less stride than Abdullah from fence 4 to 5, and then one extra to the last. So but I think he's done pretty much
41.35 for Abdullah, and Thierry there 44.15. So good chunk of time in it, but of course stays on top versus the faults. Now we come to William Funnell, second last week on Billy Diamo, and now back on that single fault here for the British Challenge, the first of the two British Challenges tonight.
So again, Will is just going to target Thierry's round, try and beat that as best he can, put pressure on the rest of the one faulters, and then hope for the best from the clear rounders from his point of view.
He looked quite tight there, didn't he?
Great turn there from Will, using all his experience. Now he's got to be quick and sharp here.
He needs to land over this in 30, less than 30. He lands there in 29. He's on the same level as Abdullah at the moment.
I was about to say, he did a great job there, Willie. I think he did everything right to that double. And he was faster as well, so he just a bit unlucky there going into that double.
Really unlucky there for William, because the time would have been good enough to put him ahead. And 43.46 would have been quicker than Thierry Goffin, but with the faults, it means he drops down behind Abdullah Al-Shabatli, and this is where Abdullah can begin to climb up that leaderboard from 12.
Yeah, he's definitely, Abdullah's in a strong position now, because they did a good time, and he's put the pressure on them.
That he has. Now it's Maysan Bisharat. This is the next to go then. What can this lady do here this evening? She rides for Jordan. She was so happy to get round and leave all the fences up. It was like she jumped to clear.
So she looks to be playing a safe mode here so far. Oh, very close to the left wing there. Just about snuck inside it. Very good turn back. Oh,
what a great horse.
Brilliant horse. Really jumping his heart out for her tonight. That's quick there now. She's gained a lot of time on Thierry there. I don't
28 seconds. She's quicker than all of them at this point. Rode her luck both ways through the double of uprights. Comes down to the last. Jumps it. We jumped the clear in 41.36. That was brilliant. She was only 1/100th of a second slower than Abdullah's round, but nevertheless sticks with the one fault and pushes herself to the top.
That was a great round, and you can see the difference between her horse and the previous horses being quite big and slow naturally. This horse is a really nimble horse, and you can see the difference in the timing there. She actually didn't look any faster than the rest, but was. So she rode. She obviously knows her horse really well and rode a super round there. And now she's really put some pressure on now.
She has, and here comes the last of those on a single fault. It is Yogniev for Germany. JK Horse Trucks hopeful. This is the last that carries in that one full score from the opening round. They need to go quicker than 41.36 to put themselves on top of that pile if they're going to challenge those above them.
Jorg's horse just a little bit sticky to number 2, which he was in the first round as well, actually, and it took all of Jorg's experience to manoeuvre him around that. Again, he seems to have him back in the rhythm again. Let's see what his timing is, Gareth.
He lands here in 29 straight 30s. He's a sort of 1.5 to 2 seconds down, so he's going to need to really find some pace coming down here to the last. He's taken a little pull, found his stride in the middle of it all. 43.80 is his final time, and it means he splits the top two as they were. He goes into second at the moment, but Yogniev and JK Horse Trucks hopeful in second ahead of Thierry Goffnet, and it is the lady from Jordan and Maysan Bisharat that's going to go forward, pushing the pressure on those above.
It is, and I think it was the start of that round that cost Jorg the time. The horse just didn't seem to be on the same page as Jorg, and it wasn't until after fence 3 he really started to go, and I think that's what cost him the couple of seconds there.
Chad Fellows, the first of the clears, the British rider who based and rides for Russian Vladimir Tuganov, and he's impressed us greatly over these past few weeks. Tonight then with Vincini de Belfort, he's got to set the standard for the clears.
A really good start by Chad. Went 9 and 5 strides from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. Really smooth rollback as well. Really calm and collected round so far. Perfect there as well.
Lands there in 28 seconds.
Great shot into this double. Go on.
He's pushing down to the last. It is Chad Fellows to set the standard for the clears, and that he's done. 40.24 seconds. Not only does he keep it clear and he jumps the double clear, he sets the quickest time of anybody we've seen so far. Brilliantly done from Chad Fellows. Pressure? What pressure?
Pressure's for tires.
Absolutely. Didn't feel it at all. So that lights things up quite nicely now. He will have enjoyed that round, and they certainly did. Well, now we come to Michael Pender. He's been in the most scintillating of form. With HHS Calais, he is now out to try and challenge Chad. Where can he make up this time?
There's not a huge amount. I think you're fairly committed with 9 strides and 5 strides from 1, 2, 3. And then after that, it's how sharp a roll back to number 4, and then across the arena to the Oxford to the double. I think it's you need a quick horse. But that's not to say Mikey Pender is one of the fastest riders going. He'll give it a go. I think he's just gone 8 strides there.
Well, let's see what he can do, of course. He won the Al Shira Derby here in the United Arab Emirates yesterday evening. He's now
very tight there, really tight.
Oh, how did he get away with it? Let's see the split. He needs to be landing at around 28 seconds. He's just landed on 27. He is quicker at the moment. He's going for these tight turns. He's taking a few risks. Michael Pender comes down to the last on HHS Calais. He's jumped it. Where's the clock going to stop? 39.88. What more can we say about this young man?
That's a great round for Mikey. What a round. As typically he's a big horse, but I think Mikey, when his turn back to number 4 was incredible. And then I think actually after that from the white fence at fence 6, he was so tight, jumped wing to wing across that, and then straight away eye on the double.
He was so tight to the double as well.
Amazing. And then he jumped out the left hand side of the double, which meant he got 7 strides home, the same as Abdullah Shabatli. And Mikey literally didn't leave an inch out there. It's just going to be a case of a faster horse, because Mikey couldn't have done anything more there.
This is why we love the sport. This is show jumping at its very best here in Al Shira this evening. So Michael Pender sets the standard up with that clear in 39.88.
As much as I want an Irishman to win this, and I hope he does, I really do, this for me is his biggest danger.
Well, this man is Abdul Saeed, and this is Egypt, and I can fully understand why all of the riders, whether they've been or they haven't been, will know what this man is capable of. Without question, he has the pace and the ability. He's going to need a little bit of luck, and any small issues could make a big difference at the end, but he's starting to rev up. Abdul Saeed, Prix de Roux, looking to try and win this Al Shira Longines Grand Prix tonight.
Abdul looks very focused. It's a naturally really fast horse. I know I keep harping on about that, but it's so important in the modern sport of show jumping. And I think Mikey will really be watching this one and worried.
It's just so smooth.
Yeah, straight away. But look how much wider Abdul has gone there than Mikey. So Mikey, I don't know who's ahead. We'll have to wait for your marker.
We're going to have a split after this, so we come round to the next fence. Once we land, we need to be in touch on 27 seconds. He's there or thereabouts, but there's not a lot in this. It is going to come down on a run to the last. He's clear out of the double. Now we go. He's chasing down 39.88. He jumps the last. He's going to stop that clock, and you were right, Trevor Breen. Abdul Saeed, he comes down to pace on the floor, and he had it in abundance. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and what a round from Abdul. Again, knows his horse, knew he could afford to go that bit wider to fence number 4 and still have Mikey. Again, it just shows the difference in horses. I mean, both riders rode impeccably there, and unfortunately for Mikey, Abdul just got him on the nod.
Well, let's see if anybody else can challenge that time, and there's of course a huge amount of money, just shy of €95,000 on offer tonight. All these positions mean an awful lot to the riders, but at that time of 39.49 is the time to beat. It is Austria's challenge. He was second in the World Cup qualifier, the last one just 3 weeks ago at the Abu Dhabi Equestrian Club. It is Gerfried Puck, and this is Bingo de Park.
As I mentioned, Gerfried thinks a lot of this horse. It's only 9 years old. It's going to be a big ask for this horse to pull it off, but no better man on board, and it's a really good horse, really careful, so it's he's going to have a go.
He's pushing on now. I guess the only place they can try and make up time is on this turn back.
Yeah, that was very tight, but you can't go tighter than Mikey did. He literally didn't leave anything. But Gerfried is giving it his all here on a super stride there.
He lands, he's not far away. He would be within reason in touch with Abdul's time.
Oh, unlucky.
But that gamble pays off only when you can jump the fences clear. And unfortunately for Gerfried Puck, it's just that one fence down.
Yeah, great effort from Gerfried, a horse of fairly little experience at this level, and that horse is only going to get better and better. That's a really good horse for Gerfried for the future, for sure. Really unlucky, a late falling pole there, Gareth.
It is, and 7th in the order just shows then the Womfolds moving right the way up. 3 double clears, but all those other 3 on that single fold have just jumped up ahead of Gerfried Puck. Now to this young lady that has really been one of the standout stars here at the Al Shira International Horse Show. She knows what it's like to win a big class. This would be even bigger. Annabelle Just here with Primus for the United States of America. It's got a huge stride. Can she use it to its advantage?
Huge stride. She's going to have a round like she had the other night to win the ranking. And she's
going
off.
for it, isn't she?
She's off. She's at the races. Very good. She needs to be tight here. Possibly a little wide there for me to trouble the top 2. Oh, and knocks it.
Well, 10 out of 10 for making the effort to really challenge this horse. She said to me in the interview afterwards the other night, they're not naturally quick. It isn't what they do on a regular basis. So to push and go, of course, you get to this stage in a Grand Prix, you've got to have a go.
You've got to have a go, yeah. You're in the jump off of a 4-star Grand Prix like this. You've got to have a go, and she knows the horse really well. And I think Annabelle has gone for it, and she's just coming home nice and relaxed now, getting her partnership back up and running, and I'm sure she'll be back in charge next week, all guns blazing again.
Well, she's a star. She was a big winner in a big ranking class here 2 nights ago. Tonight it's 9. She got to the jump off with a clear in the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix. It leaves us 2 to go, and it leaves Abdul Saeed leading the way from Michael Pender and Chad Fellows. It's Egypt, Ireland, Great Britain at the moment. There's the replay of the fence falling. Now all eyes will be very much focused on what the Longines rank world number 11 can do. The man from Germany. It is the turn of Christian Ullmann here with solid gold Z.
Well, one thing for sure, Christian's going to have a go. So I think, like I said, Mikey would have been afraid of Abdul. I think Abdul will be watching the screen biting his nails now.
I was going to say, I don't think anybody that was in the lead at this moment wouldn't be nervous knowing Christian's coming. And this will be a test for these horses, but that's why he brought them here. It's about improving them and testing them and building for the future with them. But let's see as this unfolds.
Yeah, great start and really good rhythm. See how tight he comes to this. No doubt it'll be very tight, and it is. It's as tight as Mikey was. Rattle but leaves it. This is... and he's actually made it that 8 an outside 8, which actually makes it quicker.
Right, he's landed there, and he's a second up on Abdul's side at the moment. Christian Ullmann in, out of the double. He's coming down to the last in the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix for Germany. Over we go, and it's a final time of 39.16 to take over the lead.
What a round.
There is a reason he is one of the world's best riders, and he's proved it right here tonight. Germany, Christian Ullmann, solid gold Z. Well, that was a solid gold round.
Unbelievable round there. Just shows what you know what these guys can do. He, for me, so tight to number 4, but then the 8 strides from 4 to 5, instead of being normal and it being a slow 8, he actually bowled the 8, went outside, so actually he was galloping on 8. And a subtle difference, but for me that was the difference between him getting ahead of Abdul and being slightly behind.
Well, a lot of happy people, including here the team in the box, over the moon with that round. Plenty of German support tonight, but there'll be a lot of support out there now for the Kingdom of Bahrain. He's put himself in pole to go last. Khalid Hilal Al-Kharatri on Sierra. What a story it would be. Let's wait and see. 39.16. What can he do here this evening? And it's over. Christian Ullmann is going to win this Al Shira Longines Grand Prix on his first appearance here at the Al Shira International Horse Show. And the Longines rank world number 11 comes out on top for Germany this evening. Second place goes to Abdul Saeed, and third to Michael Pender. It's Germany, Egypt and Ireland. I take nothing away from the round that's going on in the arena at the moment, because he jumped a cracking opening round, and he's coming down here to the final fence. Khalid pushes up and over to finish on a final time of 43.51. But that was sport. Trevor Breen, what do you think?
That was a great Grand Prix, great jump off, and it just shows the speed that they went at there in the end. And I think for me the skill of the riders to get the maximum out of their horses was phenomenal. How they utilised their horses' advantages and obviously covered over the disadvantages was brilliant especially from all the riders, but especially the top 3. I think that was really top class show jump.
Trevor Breen, thank you for being with us tonight. There is the full and final result here tonight in the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix. Thank you for joining us here over the 3 weeks from the Al Shira International Horse Show 2020. I've been Gareth Jenkins. It has been a true honour and a privilege to talk to you throughout the course of it all, and I hope you'll join us again for more action from Al Shira in the future, and of course live all around the year on Clip My Horse TV.
this week we improve again the level of the courses and we increase the difficulty of the courses that we need because of all the top riders that are here with this excellent footing and nice fences and top material. Top show in the world, in the top venue, with top riders, fantastic atmosphere. Very, very glad that I'm here.
in short moments the prize giving ceremony. There they are. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your winner. All together, clap your hands for the winner of the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix, coming up from Germany. Solid goal set, Christian Allman. Clap, clap, clap. Come on, everybody, all together, in rhythm.
وأمامكم كريستيان ألمان المصنف رقم 11 والفائز بالجائزة الكبرى لونجين الشراء. إذا هنيئا للفارس الألماني كريستيان ألمان، وأطلب من الحضور الوقوف احتراما للنشيد الوطني لألمانيا.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the German victory of Christian Allman and Solid Gold Z, please all rise for the national anthem of Germany. The winner of the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix for Germany, Christian Allman.
والفائز بالجائزة الكبرى الشراء لونجين هو الفارس.
To welcome our guests, His Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, Minister of Tolerance, joining the victorious rider Christian Allman.
ومعالي الشيخ نهيان بن مبارك آل نهيان وزير التسامح سوف يسلم الجائزة للألماني كريستيان ألمان.
We're welcoming also His Highness Sheikh Khaled bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the UAE, joining us here.
إذن كل الشكر لسعادة السفير الشيخ خالد بن عبد الله الخليفة سفير مملكة البحرين لدى دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة، وأيضا سعادة اللواء الدكتور أحمد ناصر الرئيسي رئيس اتحاد الإمارات للفروسية والسباق، ويسلم معالي الشيخ نهيان بن مبارك آل نهيان وزير التسامح رفقة سعادة السفير الشيخ خالد بن عبد الله وسعادة اللواء الدكتور أحمد ناصر الرئيسي وسامي حمد دهامي رئيس المجموعة السابعة في الاتحاد الدولي، وسيد باتريك عون المدير الإقليمي لشركة روجين، وسعادة عمران أحمد العويس رئيس مهرجان الشراء للفروسية.
We go on with the guests, His Excellency Major General Ahmed Nasser Al-Raisi, President of the UAE Immigration and Racing Federation, His Excellency Sami Hamad Al-Duhami, President of the FEI Group 7, the President also of Omran Al-Owais, the President of Al Shira Equestrian Festival, and the President of Patrick Aoun, Regional Brand Manager for Longines Middle East.
والمركز الثاني يعود للفارس المصري عبد السعيد وأخباج دوغي.
We go on to the second place, representing Egypt, Abdel Said and Ahbej Duri.
وكل الشكر لمعالي الشيخ نهيان بن مبارك آل نهيان وزير التسامح، وأيضا سعادة السفير الشيخ خالد بن عبد الله الخليفة سفير مملكة البحرين بالإمارات، وسعادة اللواء الدكتور أحمد ناصر رئيس اتحاد الإمارات للفروسية والسباق، وسعادة سامي حمد دهامي رئيس المجموعة السابعة في الاتحاد الدولي، وسيد باتريك عون المدير الإقليمي لشركة لونجين، وسعادة عمران أحمد العويس رئيس مهرجان الشراء للفروسية.
We go over to the number 3 of this Al Shira Longines Grand Prix, representing Ireland, one of the youngest talents joining us here during the week, HHS Calais, Michael Pender.
والمركز الثالث يعود للفارس الإيرلندي مايكل بندر وHHS كالي.
Always with the presence, of course, of our guests, His Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, Minister of Tolerance, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the UAE, His Excellency Major General Ahmed Nasser Al Raisi, President of the UAE Equestrian and Racing Federation, Sami Hamad Al Duhami, President of FEI Group 7, Omran Alawais, President of the Al Shira Equestrian Festival, and Patrick Aoun, Regional Brand Manager for Longines Middle East.
والمركز الرابع للبريطاني شاد فيلوز وفانسي دو بوفور.
Great Britain finishing on the top 4, Vinci de Beaufour, Chad Fellows. We go on with the 5th place for Jordan, $1 de Blondel, Maïsam Bisharat.
ومع الفارسة الأردنية ميسم بشارات $1 دو بلونديل.
And to go on with the top 6 for Germany, JK Hostrux hopeful, Joch Neve.
والمركز السادس يعود للألماني جورج نيفي.
Of course, a big thank you for joining us, all our guests, for the prize giving ceremony of the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix. To finish up this lovely 3rd week of competition, we'll now ask to the leading rider, Christian Alman, to lead the lap of honor with music and applause of the audience.
ومع الدورة الشرفية وفي القيادة كريستيان ألمان الفائز بالجائزة الكبرى لونجين الشراء.
With fireworks for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, make some more noise to welcome the winner of the Al Shira Longines Grand Prix for Germany, Solid Gong and Christian Alman.
إذا هنيئا لكريستيان ألمان للفارس المصري عبد السعيد.
Michael Pender,
شاد فيلوز
Maïsam Bisharat
وجورجي نيفي.
Keep on clapping, make some more noise. The winner from Germany.
ونصفق جميعا للألماني ألمان.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was again a great pleasure to have you all of you here at the week number 3 of the Al Shira Horse Show. It was again a great sport with all our guests, crowd and officials joining us during this week. I hope you enjoyed this moment of sport, and it will be a great pleasure to see you on the next shows going on in the UAE or all over the world. Enjoy your evening and see you soon.
إذن شكرا لمعالي الشيخ نهيان بن مبارك آل نهيان وزير التسامح، ولسعادة السفير الشيخ خالد بن عبد الله الخليفة سفير مملكة البحرين بالإمارات، ولسعادة اللواء الدكتور أحمد ناصر رئيسي رئيس الاتحاد الإماراتي للفروسية والسباق، ولسعادة سامي حمد دهامي رئيس المجموعة السابعة في الاتحاد الدولي، وللسيد باتريك عون المدير الإقليمي لشركة لوجين، ولسعادة عمران حمد العويس رئيس مهرجان الشراء للفروسية. شكرا لكم، وإن شاء الله السنة القادمة.
And of course, before we finish the show, don't forget to give the congratulations to Massen Kassar. Massen Kassar is the spectator judging winner of this competition, and he wins a 3-day trip to the Hickstead Horse Show this year. Massen Kassar, there we are with Edward Bunn, President of the Hickstead Horse Show, who will be welcoming you for 3 days. Congratulations.
I just wanna lose control. I just wanna move some more. Get these haters out my phone. They gon' get me in my zone.
Watch out, we are the wolves of Africa. We are the wolves, watch out. We are the wolves of Africa. Quelle, quelle. Quelle, quelle. Quelle, quelle. Quelle, quelle. Quelle, quelle. Quelle, quelle. Está. Quelle, quelle. One. Quelle, quelle. Quelle, quelle. Snakes. Quelle, quelle. Run. Quelle, quelle. High. Quelle, quelle. Quelle, quelle. Quelle, quelle.